following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. And you're finding us right here, right now. We are Adventures from the Shed, coming at you with a 2022 holiday episode. We are going to be playing a Dungeon World one-shot tonight, a holiday-themed game, and I'll be running it. I'm Joe. I'll be the GM. We're going to go around the screen here. We're going to drop Randy, of course, right as we start, so that's great. We'll get him back in here. I'll introduce Randy. Hi, I'm Randy, and I'm playing a character. Okay, and joke. Okay, Eli, say hi.
Hi, my name is Eli. I'm going to be playing Eugene Fredrickson, the Ranger.
The Ranger. Aster.
Hey, I'm Aster. I'm going to be playing Aiden, the thief of our campaign.
And Chris.
I'm Chris. I will be playing Manfred Blackwell, the paladin of the group.
Manfred Blackwell. All right, and as I mentioned, we're going to be playing Dungeon World. As soon as Randy gets back on, we're going to kick that off. It might take him a minute. He did mention in our chat here that his screen crashed. It looks like his whole computer crashed. All right, so where we are starting off this time, our holiday-themed adventures, our characters are going to find themselves in a blizzard kind of left by a guide who was leading them. And what I want to do when we get started, when Randy's back, is I want somebody to kind of read out what we are seeing here as far as the information I've shared already. Looks like Randy's coming back here. Let's see if Randy's really back. Is Randy really back?
It is blinking. I think we're safe.
And I'm Randy, and I'll be playing Elias. What are we doing?
There we go.
Oh, there's the joke.
Man. So I'm going to give a brief...
Because my computer is a ho.
I'm going to give a brief bit of info about how Dungeon World is going to play for us here. Dungeon World is kind of a fast playing game. It's rules light. Essentially, you just keep playing in the fiction, and at some point you're going to do something that triggers a move. That's when we kind of pause and say, all right, you've triggered this move. Go ahead and make a roll. All of our rolls for doing things are 2d6. So it's always the same. The only difference is when you roll for damage or something on your sheet, you'll have different numbers. Like your damage might be a D4, a D6, a D8, whatever. So when you roll damage, you'll roll that for damage. If you have a specific move that says roll a certain die for damage, you'll do that. But all of your things that you do will be based on a 2d6 roll plus appropriate modifier. Your modifier is going to be listed right at the move you're using or right at your stat. Dungeon World consists of your 6 basic stats that you're used to with a medieval fantasy RPG. We have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. They all mean about the same things that you are used to them meaning. The moves are they're generalized things. Like one of the things that we find a lot, hack and slash. And anytime you decide you're going to attack an enemy and it's going to be hand-to-hand, it's going to be a hack and slash. Anytime you decide that you're going to throw, shoot, whatever, a ranged attack against an enemy, that's called a volley. So what essentially happens in the game is you may say something like, well, I draw my sword and I charge at the goblin and swing the sword at his head. You just triggered a hack and slash move. You attack an enemy with a melee attack. So then we roll that move and we go along with what the results are. Say your character is a know-it-all, and every time you walk into a situation, you're like, hey, I know all about goblins, and what I know about them is blank, right? What you're doing there is you're spouting lore. You're consulting your accumulated knowledge about goblins, and we make a roll, and typically, presuming you're successful as a GM, I'll give you something useful that you can immediately use that should be relevant to your situation. Say it's about goblins, maybe, goblins are allergic to chocolate or something, right? I could tell you that, and you would know. Character knows that, and you just happen to have a chocolate shooting gun, and everything's fine and dandy. And suddenly we're going to be shooting goblins with chocolate, and there are no goblins or chocolate in the adventure I'd prepared. There will be apparently now. And then
my screen better crash again.
The other thing I want to call out when it comes to the moves, anybody can perform the basic moves. So your character will get into situations where they are relevant. Everybody will. One of the most used ones will usually be defying danger, because things come at you. Or you might be putting yourself into a situation where there is a danger if you're not successful. All right. So maybe you want to walk across the rickety rope bridge. Well, there's a danger there. But if you're just walking across solid ground and nothing's happening, there's no danger there to defy. You just walk. But say you're walking across a rickety rope bridge, we're going to do a defy danger. And then you decide, how are you getting across there? Your character may be super smart. And you're like, well, I'm going to make sure I look at all of the frayed ropes and not step where the frayed ropes are, or something like that. And that would be defying danger with your character's intelligence. If you did it with dexterity, it would be because you're quick on your feet and you could jump or something, maybe if the rope snaps or something like that. So defy danger is a really neat one because you pick the stat that goes along with it, which means you can probably maneuver your way into using your best stat with your character. And that usually helps you succeed more often. Okay. And then last note on all that, the whole point of success, right? We're going to be rolling 2d6. If your result is a 10 or higher, or as it reads on the sheets, a 10 plus, you get what you asked for. So you wanted to go up to the goblin and swing your sword at his head. If you roll a 10 plus on that hack and slash, you indeed go up to the goblin and hit him in the head with your sword. That just happens. And then we'll roll damage. The damage goes to the goblin, no problem. But say you roll a 7 to 9. 7 to 9 is a success with a cost. So you'll be able to go up to the goblin and hit him in the head with your sword, but maybe you didn't notice he had his dagger out and he stabs you at the same time. Or maybe you hit that goblin and behind him is a bigger, stronger goblin, right? It's some cost associated with that success will happen. And then on a 6 minus or anything 6 or below, it is considered a failure. You will mark experience. That's how one of the easiest ways to level up is to fail. You will learn from your mistakes. Your character will, at least. You may not. Your character should learn from their mistakes. You add experience. After a certain amount of experience, you level up and you pick new stuff, which is kind of neat. The other thing about failures, though, is if the failure doesn't have an immediate outcome, like, for example, you're going to pick a lock and you fail and the door just stays locked for now. I may just leave it at that, or I may say, I'm going to hold on to that failure because right now it's not really important to fail. Failure is a big thing in this game. It's actually kind of hard to fail. You have to roll really bad. It's likely that I will hold on to a failure and have it affect the party at a different time. And for me, that's just something I like to do. Maybe later on in the adventure, you're walking down a hallway and one of the characters just disappears. And that's me using up a failure. And it's something you can't avoid because it already, the quote unquote failure already happened. So at that point, we're just using it up to make something happen that you guys didn't want.
'Twas destiny.
It's destiny, yes. Unlike some other games, you can easily make it in Dungeon World where there's something unavoidable, unwinnable, unwhateverable. All right. So that way you can introduce more heftiness into it. So that's kind of some of the basics that should help us get started. The thing I want to encourage for everybody is just play your character. Now, you may right now not really know who your character is. Just play it out like, my character goes up and knocks on the door. My character does this. After we're inside, my character goes and looks around upstairs. And you can just say all this stuff, but until you trigger a move, everything you want is just happening. The story can move very quickly. All right. We don't do something like, all right, now I search the closet, roll perception. All right, now I search the cabinet. All right, roll perception. Now I do that. None of that happens. It is more like you go into the room and if you want to look around, see if there's anything hidden here, chances are it's going to be a discern realities. And you've triggered that move and we go find out if there's anything hidden in the room, that type of thing. Okay. And then with your moves, with your starting moves for your character, those are things that nobody else gets to do, at least not to the level that you do them. You are the only person that does this. Ranger's the only one with an animal companion. That's a big deal for the Ranger. Thief is the only one that on their moves actually gets to look for traps. Everybody else can try and find out if something weird's going on, but a thief can just say, look, I found a trap. There it is. Right? Makes a big difference. So keep that in mind as you go. Those are the special things for your character. So you should seek to use them where you can. All right. With all that in mind, we are going to be doing our character sheet management and dice rolls off screen, but we're going to let people know what we're doing when we click. We'll let us announce the results. We're also probably several times as we go through this, I'll ask somebody to read out a move. So if I say you've triggered a move, I may ask you to read it. And at that point, I'll just want you to read out what's there on your screen for your move. Okay. So I'm kind of just dropping you guys into this one-shot winter holiday adventure. I specifically say winter because I'm dropping you in the middle of a blizzard. What I'd like is if somebody can read out that text that I shared with everybody. I'll let you guys pick.
I don't have it. I don't have it
verbatim
because it closed a lot and it's gone. So
just like verbatim, just the paragraph out loud.
We can. Randy, you're not very loud. I don't know if you're farther from your microphone since everything pissed you off.
Look into it.
All right, thanks. It doesn't have to be verbatim, but everything that's in here has to come out. How about that?
I can read it just the way it is.
That's fine.
All right. You've been enlisted to help a group of people by guarding them while they perform their humanitarian work. An unexpected severe storm started a couple of hours ago. You find yourself in the middle of the blizzard, the cold, bitter snow near whiteout. The land is layered in nearly 2 feet of snow. The guide that was sent with you has run off. Based on what we were told, people you were sent here to help are somewhere to the west of where you are.
Yeah. So you got into this this trip. You're supposed to be going to help some people out. And just about a couple hours ago, the blizzard started. A lot of snow to the point where there's like 2 feet in a couple hours. And the guide that was kind of leading you to where you were supposed to be going panicked and just ran off. And now you guys find yourself in this blizzard.
Man, who hired that guy?
As you know, you were heading west to get to the people that you're supposed to be helping.
Okay, so a couple questions.
Yeah.
What humanitarian aid are they doing?
You were told that yearly they put together items and resources for people in dire need of them for the year.
And then what kind of region is this? Is this plains, forest, mountainous, desert where it's snowing, craziness? It's like, is it like that crazy? Like, hey, it's magical related, you know?
It's definitely not a natural snow. It's falling way too fast for anything you've ever experienced before. The area you are in, think of it as I'm thinking, if you look at the map of the US where it looks relatively flat and then there's the Rocky Mountains,
Yeah.
right? It's something like that. There's plenty of flat, but you can see mountains.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Well,
And then for time of year,
normally would be able to see mountains. Right now, we just see snow.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saw them 2 hours ago. How about that?
totally snowblind.
Yeah.
We don't see anything.
So,
Snow.
and so this is not even normal. Is it still the winter season where we would have snow, or is this like straight like craziness? Okay.
Yeah, there was so a few hours ago when you first all got together to go about this this task, there was frost on the leaves and the ground had a light dusting of snow from like a week ago or something like that. It's cold. It just feels like it's gotten way colder, way snowier, and far too fast for it to feel natural.
All right. And do we have animals with us? Or are we on foot?
You have one. Eli's got one, or Eugene, I'm sorry, has
So
one.
we're not on horseback or wagon.
No, it was supposed to just be like a half a day hike.
Okay, so it's just what we can carry kind of thing.
Yeah.
My one question.
Everything that you would have had on your character minus anything you would have had on like a pack animal or in your house or whatever.
Is
My
this
one
too loud?
question-
Just checking.
That sounds fine, Randy.
That's good.
Okay. It had automatic adjustment on for some reason. Sorry, go ahead, Eli.
Yeah.
Have we been sent here to be like peacekeepers for this humanitarian effort or actual guards? Like, are they expecting trouble to come by?
Through the year they've received this is what you've been told so far. You haven't actually talked to the people, you've only talked to the people who hired you, so to speak. Right. So before you got to the point where the guide ran off, there's some chat about from the guide telling you that they've received threats that something bad's going to happen to them, and they need to stop what they're doing, or face the consequences, kind of thing. So they've received threats through the year, anonymous, and they don't know where anything came from. So what they did was they decided to reach out to find people who are very powerful people who could definitely protect them from anything that might come along. They didn't reach those people, but they got you.
Okay. I'll take the coin. All right.
And for this area, what's the racial makeup? Is it like, are we expected to run into like certain creatures, or is it more human based that they would be complaining about? Mostly
humanoid. The only creatures in the area are typical wildlife, mountain goats. In the plains areas, you've got the squirrels, the whatever, but think regular standard wildlife.
Okay, and Aster, you said your character's a halfling.
Yeah.
Are you having issues in this deep snow, or like do you need hey, do you need Aiden? Do you need help? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
All right, have fun down there.
Say it.
I mean, it's
Down there.
Well, yes, you are down towards
I can only see your head.
Yeah.
Speaking up. I assume I would hope that one of us has the map besides the guide. Perhaps not, but
as far as a map goes, there was really no map needed because you only had to travel for a half a day with a guide. So
a 6-hour walk in clear weather.
Yep.
Yeah, not so clear anymore.
And it was you had a clear path to follow. The only reason you had a guide was because it's not a path normally followed. So it's not the road less. It is the road less traveled. I was going to say it's not the road less traveled. It is.
Well, I guess how problematic is it now for us to discern where we're like the pathway, like which way we're supposed to be going?
Yeah, I mean, between you guys, you are actually strong people in the world, right? So as the characters in Dungeon World, you're a big deal, and it should not be difficult for you to find your way. What we would do is we would take it as a I think it's under advanced moves. I should have looked at that. Not advanced, sorry. Yeah, it is special, not advanced. We're going to go ahead and choose that move, or we're going to trigger the move of undertake a perilous journey, because at this point it's become hostile territory with the coldness and the wind and the snow. So I'm going to read this one as the first move that we're going to trigger. And we're not going to use all of it, but we're going to use most of it. So when you travel through hostile territory, you're going to choose one member of your party to be the trailblazer, one to scout ahead, and one to be the quartermaster. You can't use the same character for 2 jobs. If you don't have enough party members or choose not to assign a job, you can treat it as if it had rolled a 6, which means an automatic failure. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do this. We're not going to do the quartermaster. Quartermaster really only cares about the food, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a scout and a trailblazer. Your scout is going to make sure that if any trouble is out there, you see it before it sees you. And your trailblazer is going to make sure you get there quickly and safely. So whoever rolls, it's going to be a roll plus wisdom. So you can kind of look at your character sheet and see what is who are the right ones to perhaps do a roll plus wisdom. Now that said, if you fail, you'll mark an experience. So sometimes it's fun to fail to see what happens, but also to be able to level your character up. There are sometimes
it's cool.
you may have a character with a -1 modifier on intelligence that just wants to walk around spouting lore all the time, just so you can get everything wrong.
Some people might call that failing forward.
Exactly.
Dungeon World really said fuck around and find out.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah.
I would like to be the scout.
Okay.
Unless somebody has any problems with that.
Aren't you the ranger? Kind of makes sense. Right?
I am indeed the ranger. That's kind of my case for it.
That's kind of my bag, baby.
They're all wisdom related. You were saying, Joe?
Yeah, for undertaking a perilous journey, it is always a roll plus wisdom.
I could do the other one unless somebody else has some solid wisdom action going on.
I'm a little bit wise, I'd say. I've mostly spent my time with intelligence and wisdom.
A little bit wise is better than not wise.
Yeah. You gonna try trailblazing there, Randy? Make sure we got the right. Make sure Elias picks the right path to follow through the snow.
Well, is Manfred pretty wise, or is he just wise?
I'm just
he's wide,
or is he super wise?
I'm just regular wise, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little bit wise, I guess. Not a lot, just a little bit.
I'm a little wise too.
Any modifier, it's a big difference. Yeah. All right, 2d6.
Okay, I'm a +1 for when it's talk specifics.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. On a 2d6, you have your regular range, but as soon as you have a modifier, it makes everything a lot easier. If it's a plus modifier, mind you, if the one that you have a -1 on, you probably don't want to use that one right away.
We can't go wrong either way with us, Chris. Then, so you can do it since you said you spoke up first.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right, so let's have your scout and your trailblazer both do that. Undertake a perilous journey roll. Roll plus wisdom.
I'll just be the quartermaster that gives you snow to eat.
Right. So we've got
a 9er for Eli.
Yeah, so Eugene rolled a 9, so partial success on that. And Manfred, as the trailblazer, rolled a 10, which is a success. So what we're going to do with this, just to move it forward quicker, there was along the way, Eugene. It's so messy because I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing Elias and Eugene in different spots.
Hi, I'm Eugene Fredrickson, monster hunter extraordinaire.
So Eugene notices along the way, it's nothing that actually threatens you, but there are different shapes in different snowdrifts that don't look normal, but nothing that raises your raises enough suspicion that you would come back to the party and say, look, snow's about to attack us, right? It's not necessarily like that, but with all of the unnatural feeling of the snow already, a couple of snowdrifts kind of catch your eye that something odd may be there. And then for Manfred's success, you're able to get through to your destination kind of quick. Does Eugene want to do anything about what he has seen?
I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. These snow piles, while they might look funky, they're not doing anything. If anything, they might be shirking away because my Tyrion, my dinosaur animal companion, is quite ferocious and frightening.
So I can imagine. And I'm going to give you guys a chance here to kind of introduce your character, describe your character a little. What I'm going to set up for you is the approach going through the snow. You see up in front of you, as soon as you're close enough, you can see candles, candlelight burning in windows, and it looks like a pretty large building. This is like think like a big barn / warehouse / kind of looking building with what looks like attached residences. There's a lot of smaller spaces between windows where it looks more residential, whereas this big building looks more, call it industrial. And as you approach that, what I want you guys to do is, if you could take a minute, describe your character, because I want to know what people see as you approach them.
Did we just walk up here, or did we have like a wagon? And
you're walking.
Yeah, we just walked.
We just walked. Okay.
Yeah.
What characters do we have here? So I got my I guess we can introduce ourselves this way.
Yeah.
Leading the fray is Elias. He is a human paladin. He is wearing a white with gold trim outfit, kind of a tunic situation, and I think like Link with no hat, pretty much, but carrying around a giant mallet. And he's got, I think I said black hair. Look at this character in a little while. No, I didn't even put anything there. So he has black, kind of spiky anime style hair. No, it's a cleric or pal? It's a cleric.
No,
That's right. Sorry, some healing
protagonist.
class has some other.
What, Randy? What was the last part there?
I said I haven't looked at this guy in a while. I forgot it was some healing character or another. Anyway, so he's only led for a moment to point out, hey, I think that's a town over there. We should go over there and adventure.
I love that this man sounds like Sonic and looks like an anime protagonist.
Nice.
I almost fell into the less voice.
Going, Elias. We're going there as part of the adventure. Says Eugene Fredrickson, a average height man of a very lean build. He carries with him a bow, a spear, various, we'll call them tools, as close quarters melee implements, a rugged pack, stiff leather armor, and a very heavy cloak.
What's traveling with him?
Traveling aside him with a very big blanket thrown over it is a rather large dinosaur. It is a huge beast. Think something along the lines of a what would be the right one? A big velociraptor, essentially. Just this massive two-legged carnivore, stands easily taller than any man. He's a big softy, though. Well,
Clever girl.
He's my softy. His name is Tyrion.
Tyrion?
Tyrion.
Adorable.
His mottled green and brown scales.
I love that.
Elias adjusts his chainmail tunic a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's the snow that's bugging me. What do you think, Manfred?
Aiden screams from beneath the snow. You think you're bothered?
Yeah.
I think I hear somebody.
Drowning on the other side of Eugene.
Help me, damn it!
I worked on an
I
accent
think-
and everything. Now I just have to talk like Kenny.
I think Aiden needs pulled up.
So
Aiden on the
good bit of body underneath the snow is a halfling thief wearing pretty inconspicuous standard dark leathers, heavy cloak, a rapier, and just probably too many for any normal person daggers.
So you're a smaller person dressed all dark in the snow, so you're like a big poop.
All right, guys, it was good time.
All right, I'm done. I'm out. Thank you.
My water.
I'll be here for another hour or so.
I hate you, Joe.
Got a beverage here, man.
And Manfred is the Witcher.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I've never seen The Witcher. He does have like white hair like that, though, even though he's not that old. But it's just because of things he's done and seen has turned his hair white. So he's got the the goatee and mustache and long white hair, and his armor's all blackened out. It's all like as we like to say, murdered out. Blacked out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he kind of stands up in the snow, I guess. But he's a very stoic character. Kind of doesn't talk much unless he has to, so he expects people to listen to him when he does speak. One of those guys. Doesn't waste his words or his actions.
No word waster, you be. Just so you know, I think Randy, I heard you or somebody mentioned it looked like you were walking up to a town. It's really just one building. All right, as far as you can tell, just one building in this kind of big open space.
Okay.
Just want to make sure it doesn't look like a town.
You said it looked like smaller buildings attached to it, so I was
it's like
thinking
a residential
separated,
building attached to an industrial building, like
Gotcha.
work and residence in the same spot.
Has the blizzard let up any as
Nope.
as we've gotten closer? No?
Was it gotten worse?
And it feels about the same. So the snow is piled up again another half a foot or so. It's been another half hour or longer.
How far can we see in front of our faces? Like, can we see 20 feet, or is it, we're out way bad?
So it really depends on what you're looking at. In this case, the light from the windows of the building, you could see from a couple 100 feet away. But until you got closer, you couldn't make out the door, right? You couldn't really see the door until you're like 20 feet away.
Okay.
Gotcha. So it really depends on what you're looking at. Things that just kind of blend into the background, you can't really see until you're practically on top of them.
Oh man, the snowdrifts look like other houses. That's why I thought it was a town.
There it is. Nice. When you reach the door, it opens. Just as you reach it, it's a big wooden, trying to remember the right word for it. It's not like a quote unquote barn door, but I've heard it referred to as barn door, but just a regular door that's like on wheels that slides off to the side or rolls off to the side. That kind of a carriage door, I think, is what they call it. I think that's the right word for it. Anyway,
that would make sense. It's a door on a carriage.
Just kind of slides off to the side, and inside you see a very large amount of what looks like just gnomes, maybe some dwarves mixed in here and there, and they're all busy sitting at benches putting together things. Like you can see some putting together things like care packages, a bunch of non-perishable foods being packed into a box, and they put that box together and then they wrap it with like a bow and they put it off to the side, and somebody else is putting together different things, clothing being put together in boxes to be sent to people.
Eugene is gonna like lean over to Elias and whisper, I don't know why I was expecting elves.
I like that. I don't know why you were expecting elves. Elves are too tall.
Weird. I was too.
After that kind of big splendor catches your eyes, because there's a lot of stuff going on and there's very colorful. It seems very cheerful might be a good word for it, but at the same time, you can feel a tension in the air. Like they weren't expecting the snowstorm either. And definitely they don't want their deliveries to be interrupted. And of course, that's why you guys were hired. Right inside the door, once you've kind of, again, gathered that in from the light pouring in from the inside, you see standing in front of you is a gnome, dark hair. He's wearing a hat not too far off from what Eli's wearing today, but kind of a conical hat. And
it's green.
He looks up at you guys, well, up at most of you. I think he's probably about even with Aiden, and he looks at you guys up and down, and says, "Where's the guide?"
He ran off some time ago.
He's probably frozen to death by now. There was no way for us to find him in that whiteout.
Well, that's horrible. Come in. Is this all of you? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That's right. Come in.
Yes, 3.2. We're here.
3.2.
Are we supposed to talk to some guy named Kringle or something? What's going on here?
Just in mock offense, look up at Tyrion. Well, I think you're a person.
In all fairness, me in addition to the dinosaur, I feel like we have 4 people.
he count a full 4, sure.
Oh, that's referring to the Manfred's cold exterior, like he's a shadow, not a person.
Nice. I don't know any Kringle. I'm Harvey.
A very violent, stabby shadow.
Harvey.
I'm Harvey. I'm here. I'm kind of running the show while the boss is gone. He won't be back for a couple of days. But come in. This storm is horrible. We need you to figure this out so we can get our business done. There's no way we could bring our packages around in this kind of weather.
Well, this is our first time here. Would you care to give us like a tour?
Sure. Well, we call this the workshop. Go figure.
Figured that much.
Yeah, really.
There's the work. There's the shop.
There's the work in the shop. There's off to the side. There are some really large cloth bags that they've been putting these boxes into. And they're sitting next to a what looks like a very large carriage with like skis on it instead of wheels. You might call it a sleigh if you wanted, but and everybody's just busy, and you walk through. He points out a few things. Like one of the first things he points out is like restrooms are over there, and it just lets you know because it's cold out. You probably got to pee. So he shows you kind of around. They have a little game room where they have some tables set up where they play card games and dice games and stuff. And break room. They have a place where they eat, and then he doesn't bring you in, but he kind of points out over on the other side. That's where we live. That's where we go when we're not working, and kind of quick tour of the place. But it's mostly wooden structure with some large stones here and there. It seems to be holding up incredibly well to the blustery wind that you guys came in from. Once the door shut behind you, you don't even hear the wind whistling anymore.
Creepy.
Is there a fire in here or something to heat this place?
Yeah, there are lots of fires. As he's walking you around, I guess one of the things he'll point out is because of the storm, we can't get out to get any more wood. We're going to run out of heat like tonight.
That should be our first thing. Go and make a path to get to the wood and keep it clean, keep it going, nice and clear.
We'd really appreciate that.
What other problems?
What's your name, Paladin Cleric?
I prefer cleric.
I'm making the presumption that you all introduced yourselves. Yes?
No, Claritin's a cleaning thing. I'm a cleric.
Did everybody introduce themselves as they actually are, or is anybody being deceptive on who they are? I didn't know. I don't know these characters yet, so I want to ask that.
Yeah, completely on the up and up for me.
Eugene has nothing to hide. He actually wants his name out there. He's a famous monster hunter.
My name is Elias. We no longer have last names. I am now just I am Cleric Elias, a follower of Bethany the Pure.
Nice. What about Aiden?
Aiden Scoms.
I'm Jerry.
Isn't much room to hide much.
Well, it's more
Nadia.
along the lines of I know some characters or some players will like to use a different name for their character most of the time and be secretive. Is probably not the right word, but more like if you don't tell anybody your real name, then maybe later on your real name means something, that kind of thing.
Like Chris had 13 names the last campaign that we played.
Well, that was important to know which one was there, but he didn't change them much. It was important to know which one it was.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fair. In that case, yes, Aiden does use an alias. Don't ask me what the real name is because I do not know yet.
Okay, and that's fine.
But I will get to you as soon as I know it.
No problem. To me, it's just important that later on, if if they put up a plaque in the workshop with your names on it, it'll have whatever you told them your name is.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing.
Katrina the Small,
as they would want to be referred to.
They have Elias and Alias.
Yeah, Elias is an alias. I go by Alias.
So do they have wood cut and stored someplace? We have to go grab, or we have to go cut down some trees.
So they were planning on getting out to get more wood today, and the storm has stopped them from getting out there to do that. They don't look so sturdy overall. Like if they went outside for a little while, they'd probably catch a little frostbite or something.
Even some of the dwarves?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like their job is to work indoors all year. They're not really outdoorsy folk, and they do have some winter garb. You can see some coats hanging here or there, some furs, what have you, but definitely not enough for everybody there. Like they wouldn't.
I guess they're not going to fit.
No heat. Yeah.
How strong is was it Tyrion?
Yes.
Like can Tyrion haul something if we make something that, like to put the wood on?
Oh yes, he absolutely could. I don't know if he'd be okay with that, but I know he can do it. He's dragged my ass more than a few times.
Just to try to save us some time. And
do you already have a wood haul set up for us to put the collection on?
Yes. I'll go with yes, because you asked.
Well,
it's shaped exactly like you thought of when you thought of it.
Well, if we can adapt the harness, then we should be able to get it hooked up to Tyrion.
If they already have one, then they probably have a harness. They just don't want to put their beast outside in the cold.
They don't have a beast.
Oh, they just halted.
They
just
got to pull that
dwarves up as a team.
Mush.
Mush dwarves, mush.
All right, we should solve this heating problem before the end of the night. How much longer till sundown, actually?
You guys have probably another 8 hours before the sun might start coming back up. It's nighttime now.
Already down there.
Oh, okay.
Let's call it close to 9, 10 p.m. The sun's going to start coming up around 6 a.m. or so.
Which part of the woods were you planning on going to so we can go there and chop down the trees for you?
Just right over that way. And he just points out the window.
We'll go there.
Yes.
Can we see like the winter garb you mentioned from where we are?
I mean, yeah, it's like as I've described it, it's just kind of like a big workshop. They have places where they play, places where they rest, places where they live, but you can see right near the exits outside is your typical put your boots and your gloves and your jackets and umbrellas and whatever, that stuff gets stored near the door. So if you just look where the door is that goes out, or the other smaller door where there's another exit off to the side, they both have some of that stuff near them.
Aiden will kind of point over in that direction.
Yeah.
Do you think I could borrow one of those? I'm sure you understand. Just gesturing to size.
Definitely. Whatever you need that we have.
Is there anything else we can think of, lads?
Is there anything more pressing than wood right now that you need to do? Or is that the main the main issue?
Very pressing.
And you said your wood wasn't going to last the night, correct?
Yes, we need heat so we can survive tonight.
I see.
Yes.
You need to make sure they have some morning wood.
So you need more wood coming. I hear.
We need more. We need wood because the fire is kind of going down, right?
So
and when it's down too far, you need fresh wood to bring it back up.
Oh.
Yes, I understand that when you run out of wood, the flame goes out.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't sound very delightful.
Okay. Now, will you be coming with the wood, Elias?
I will be coming and going with the wood.
Cool. And you'll stick it in my fire when you're back.
I will put it near the fire. I'll put it near the fire. That's the plan. Yeah.
He's got a log for you, all right.
Anyway, we gotta go fast. All right.
Yes.
We can't stay out too long. If this blizzard stays up through the night, we could very, very easily freeze out there.
You're telling me.
I'm a little curious for Eugene and Tyrion. You know, in my head, I'm trying to remember what it is by thinking of tearing up, and I was going to say, "Is Eugene and tearing up?" But it's anyway. How do Eugene and Tyrion typically communicate with each other? Like, how does that work?
For Tyrion, it's usually hisses and like barks.
So you speak his language.
Yeah. Think like the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptors with the whole egg scene and like the whistle.
I've seen that one, yeah.
Like where they're calling each other.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a very bad impression, but yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
Eugene communicates to Tyrion like that. Eugene has not quite gotten used to understanding what these calls all mean, but Tyrion can usually get his point across.
God, your accent is terrible.
Your dinosaur accent is horrible.
I'd like to hear you speak, Tyrannus.
Tyrannus.
That's the name of the species. Yes, I'm unoriginal.
So for Eugene, I want to make sure that I give Tyrion a little bit of attitude, because I understand he has attitude.
Oh yeah.
And you, of course, you're the only one that hears and kind of understands this. But essentially, you get from Tyrion, ain't no way I'm going back out in that effing cold.
Yeah, he's giving me like a low growl, like glaring down at me.
You're pretty sure.
Okay, so
Is there a way for me, Joe? Can I use my I'm the law to try to coax the dinosaur? Possibly.
Yeah, sure. But remember, that can backfire.
That's fine. I'll take that chance.
The huge ferocious beast.
So essentially, I'll throw a little bit of this in here, Chris, and I want you to read that move. But essentially, for the paladin, he can just kind of use his authority, that divine authority, to issue a command and try and get anybody, anything to kind of do what he wants them to do. I thought it might take you a minute to open that up, so I wanted to make sure I filled in the gap. But go ahead, Chris, and tell us what's going on.
When you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority, roll plus charisma, 10 plus, I get to choose one. I get +1 forward against them. 7 to 9, they choose one, and 6, they do as they please, and I take -1 going forward. So the choices are: they do what I say, they back away cautiously, then flee, and the last one is they attack me. So, yeah, could be a lot of fun.
We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will see what happens.
What command do you want to issue to Tyrion?
Help us give warmth to these people in need.
Please.
We can determine if the please was there after we see the roll, I suppose.
That's how it will work. Crushed it.
Holy crap.
Oh, damn.
What'd you get there, Chris?
I think he might. I got a 14, so I think he's going to let me ride him out into the winter.
Yeah.
I think he's mine now. Sorry, Eugene. Sorry, buddy.
That was
Whoa.
that was a crit.
If anybody gets to ride the dinosaur.
He rolled a 12.
So, Eugene,
It's me.
Eugene, Tyrion's response is very similar to early on in your training when you would correct Tyrion for doing something wrong, and Tyrion was like, oh, okay, I won't do that again, that kind of thing. And that's the response Tyrion gives towards Manfred. More kind of like, oh, okay, I'll go.
Good work, Manfred. That's wow.
Now, Chris, I'm a little curious for Manfred. Does he get any kind of vocal effects on that? Does he get like a little reverb or maybe some chorusing action happen when he does that?
Sounds like angels singing. No, I don't want it to be. I want it to be very straightforward, like how I said it. Like, please help us give warmth to these people in need.
He did say please.
He did, but it is really clear he's speaking from a position of authority. When he does that, that part has to be very clear. Yeah.
Good work, Manfred. He's more than willing to come out with this again.
Yeah, I didn't ask about Aiden riding him though, so that's all bets are off on that one.
We could also get him a little scarf.
Yeah. If Aiden's wearing enough heavy clothing, it could help warm up Tyrion's back.
Actually, that is a good point. Harvey, was it?
Harvey or Harvey? I couldn't sure.
I'm going with the whole Herbie the elf. It's Harvey the elf. So
does he want to be a dentist?
He's actually going to be a proctologist. He's even better. For people to help him get into his practice.
He's checking out all these Yule logs pretty good.
Exactly. All this talk about wood and
Harvey, do you have another blanket that's been sitting here that's perhaps been warmed already?
If you don't mind a really big bear skin, there's one on the ground in front of the fireplace. That should be toasty.
That would be wonderful. Tyrion is somewhat cold-blooded, so the cold really hurts him.
I didn't think about it when I said it, but now I'm picturing a velociraptor with a bear head on top.
That's a badass image right there.
That is.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Randy, I want a stick figure of that, please.
What is that? A bear? It's a velocibear.
That's the new species. I'm sorry.
Oh, and you need to take
terrifying.
You need to take the arms and like strap them to the velociraptor's arms so as a bear claws and stuff, dude. Awesome.
Randy's like challenge accepted.
But anyway,
Eugene's gonna take the old cold blanket off of Tyrion and replace it with that nice toasty warm bearskin rug. I'm gonna put the old blanket where the rug was. There
you go. Yeah, it'll warm it up.
Placeholder until we get back.
Yeah, because if nothing else, as soon as you guys stepped in, some of that snow started melting, and you're probably going to feel a little miserable as soon as you walk back out in the cold. So yeah, swapping for the dry stuff would definitely help out the dino. All right, so you guys think you're ready to head out?
I assume do they have decent lanterns? Or are we trying to like go out here with like torches to try to like see where we're going?
Well, here's the deal. You could take a lantern.
Like hooded
You'd
lantern.
probably be better off with someone in your group casting a light spell if somebody has that cleric.
Cleric, what do you got
I
there,
actually
buddy?
do have the light spell prepared.
I know the cleric can. You don't have to, but the cleric can. That's why I threw it out there. You'd
I
be
feel
better
like
off with magical light because
I have prepared light, sync, and guidance at the moment.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was available to him
Yeah.
at the moment.
well, bringing out anything that's on fire just has a chance of being blown out by the horrible wind out there.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. So to try and cover stuff so the wind doesn't blow it out is going to negate a lot of the light. That's not to say you can't. You can definitely.
How does that
bring a
work,
lantern. You
Randy?
probably
Do you have to put that on an object, or how does that work for you?
Randy, I'll ask you to read a couple of things because you've got two things here. You've got the cast a spell move and the spell itself.
Okay, so light, first of all, if you want the description of that for this game,
Sure.
is an item you touch glows with the divine light, about as bright as a torch. It gives off no heat or sound and requires no fuel, but is otherwise like a mundane torch. You have complete control of the color of the flame. The spell lasts as long as it is in your presence. So, yes, I can cast light, and it will guide us as long as we need it to. It doesn't seem to have a time limit, but I assume it's until I'm done focusing on it.
If you look at that
as long as it's in your
spell, I think
presence.
there's a
Still, I
keyword on
don't
there
wanna
that's
hold it
called
anymore.
ongoing. Is that right? Randy.
It's cutting out and out for some reason. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. If
A
you look
keyword?
at that spell,
Sorry?
does it have a keyword that says ongoing on it?
No, I had to go to the wiki. It doesn't. It just at the very end, the spell lasts as long as it's in your presence. So I guess it's ongoing as long as I have it.
Okay. The reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure that spell is ongoing, and you can only have one of those spells going at a time. It's like concentration in D&D, where you have a certain amount that you can keep going, and this spell will keep going as long as you want. You just can't pile other ongoing spells on top of it, so to speak.
The Dungeon World wiki does not seem to have ongoing or instant or anything like that in its description of the spells. As far as I can tell.
It'll be in there somewhere, but we just may not see it, and that's okay. Now, as far as the casting of the spell, can you read the cast a spell move for us, please?
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Cast a spell. Moose. Where would I? There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, when you unleash a spell granted by your deity, roll plus wisdom. Note that maintaining spells with ongoing effects will sometimes cause a penalty to your roll to cast a spell. The spell 10 plus, the spell is successful. Casting your deity does not revoke the spell, so you may cast it again. 7 to 9. On a 7 to 9, the spell is cast, but choose one of the following. You draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. The GM will tell you your casting distances you from your deity. Take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time commune. And then the last one is after it is cast, the spell is revoked by your deity. You cannot cast a spell again until you commune and have it granted to you. And then there's nothing for failure, so you just straight up fail and get experience, I assume.
Yeah, and some of the spells have specific failure results, which is why they don't have it on the cast a spell one itself.
Yeah, unfortunately,
so let's go ahead and make that cast a spell roll.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do not have anything on my. It says rotes for the spells that I have prepared.
Yep.
There's nothing for me to. Let's see. Oh, there is stuff here.
No, you click on the cast a spell move.
Yeah, so
The
first
spell
level
itself
spells.
says what it does.
Okay, so I will do that then. So we're decided upon light then. All right.
If you want to see, yes. So what'd you get?
I got a 12. So 11 plus 1, 12.
Nice.
So you cast it as we see under the success criteria or the result. It says it's successfully cast and your deity does not revoke the spell, so you may cast it again. That's nice.
You're
What are you
so good at
casting it
casting
on?
light.
to Chris's point earlier, is it on an item? And yes, the spell says it has to be on an item. So what item?
I like to think that I carry around a small stick, almost the size of a small flute, and it looks like Christmas lights since I can choose the color.
Oh. Wait, hold up. Hear me out.
Okay.
A small velvet sphere that you place on your nose.
Oh. And then you'd make it glow red, right?
Yeah. Sure, we could do that. I can totally be blind while we continue this whole entire thing.
Well, it could be directional, maybe. Just
Hey, that
just an idea.
That old story of like Randolph the elf, he didn't go blind.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I know it was
Randolph the elf man. He had a shiny face. It's kind of funny because no one made him a total disgrace.
Hey.
Okay.
You're not the bard.
That's true.
All right. So now you guys have the light. It's ready. You've got your dino dressed.
My dino is dressed, and as an extra precaution, I'm taking a towel from my adventuring gear, and I'm going to make sure he's all nice and dry, and then make sure I'm all nice and dry.
Hey, Eugene, you think Tyrion's good to drag that? I don't know what we got. Something to drag the wood on.
Well, if we get some rope together, we can get it all figured out.
I'm changing my stick into red and white stripes at a diagonal line, like a candy cane.
The what you're going to use is they have some rope, and they have essentially a toboggan. Just think curved at the front and flat wood after it. They also have a thing that has wheels, but obviously that wouldn't work out well today.
You guys don't have a travois or anything laying around. Yeah, never mind.
Nah, that's in the past. All right, so you're able to get that outside. Less than 5 minutes walking in the direction that was pointed by Harvey, and you start to see trees. Eugene, you notice that some of the snowdrifts that had caught your eye earlier are even more I don't know, shaped oddly. They're almost like they're sculpted snowdrifts, if you will.
I'm gonna look up to Tyrion.
Yeah.
How you feeling, buddy? Everything okay? Tyrion does not have keen senses.
No, this
He's just a fighter.
This is a warm coat, man.
Well, Tyrion is still feeling happy. I would be wary of these snowdrifts, but should be smooth sailing from here.
You say that to the group, or
yes?
You just think okay.
Well, I shout it to the group over the blizzard winds.
I was going to say, besides the windiness, what other sounds are we picking up out here?
Out here, you get nothing. It's like the snow has deadened everything except the sound of the wind whistling past you.
Oh, is there no more snow falling?
Randy, that paper's really loud.
Sorry.
All right. Go ahead, Eli.
Is there no more snow falling?
The snow is still falling at pretty much the same speed.
That was icicles falling from a roof. That's what that was.
Yeah.
You doing all right there, Aiden?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
The other Aiden.
Oh, I think you said Randy. Sorry.
I'll say not Aiden for Randy.
Randon.
Yeah.
Aiden very roughly sniffles.
Oh. It's got like this
Just
big old hat, big
naturally
puffy
red
coat,
nose.
mittens.
How tall is Aiden?
Straight out of A Christmas Story.
Why do you ask? You wouldn't be happening to ask because it was 2 feet when we started.
It was 2.5 feet when you got to the house workshop.
Mm-hmm. That wouldn't have to
And
be the reason you're asking, would it?
the snow's gotten a little taller in the time that you were inside preparing to go back out.
Yeah. So Aiden is about as tall as the possibility that Aiden is going to have to ride a dinosaur soon.
It is definitely to the point where
Is your head still above the snow?
Barely.
it's freshly fallen fluffy snow because it has fallen so fast, and none of it on the at ground level, nothing is melted or anything. So you're able to push through it.
Aiden's gonna get on the toboggan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You
deal.
just ride. Why
That
not?
works.
Who's pulling this thing? Just the dinosaur?
Yeah.
For now,
All right.
yeah.
And it's practically weightless before the halfling gets on, and almost weightless after the halfling gets on.
Aiden will step on and just look at Tyr. Sorry.
I got to think the wood that will fit on it will probably weigh 3 to 4 times as much as a halfling. So. All right. So you see, like I said, you start to see the outline of some evergreen trees. As Eugene pointed out, there are some odd looking snowdrifts, and you're at that spot now. So you can, I don't know how you're going to cut down a tree. But
Eugene carries a small hatchet with him, so he's able to get branches. Felling a tree is going to take a while, though.
This is actually a good point for me to point out something. If you went when you were picking gear for your character,
I got adventuring gear if that would allow me to have some.
There you go. That's
kind
what
of
I was
stuff.
getting to.
I'm down for some of that. Yeah.
So if
I
you
marked off
at,
one use for my towel earlier.
I'll start pulling some Tin Man action and start chopping.
So one thing I would ask then for anyone who chose adventuring gear, when you want to use it, just let me know that you are, so that we can, be on the same page of taking that one use, like you said, Eli. But adventuring gear is awesome. Any mundane item you can think of, you've got it in your backpack somewhere, and you have it now. You mark off a use of your adventuring gear and you move on. So that's a good point there, Chris.
This bear is looking more like a cougar, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. So long as there's some form of animal skin on my animal.
Hey, what claws did you say was in the claws, Joe?
What did I say?
The little arms.
Oh
the
yeah,
arms.
the bear arms.
So you think of the bear,
the claws.
the flat bear skin rug usually still has the hands and feet and head.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm thinking the hands, if they were strapped to the forearms of the raptor, that would be pretty damn cool. It has its own level of humor.
The rear legs just kind of like sitting over Tyrion's thighs, just looking all stubby by comparison.
Exactly. So yeah, you guys are there. You got a hatchet. Anything else you might need from adventuring gear, just mark off the use of it so we know to refill at some point in the future. Nope, too white.
Too white. I drew nothing.
Look at my paper.
We'll take a picture and send it to us.
Check out a blank piece of paper.
Well, that's what we're looking at when we're out here trying to chop down trees.
I'm trying to show you into the snow. Guys, look what I drew.
Nailed it.
I'm going to pass my hatchet over to Aiden. Would you mind gathering up some branches? I really don't like those snowbanks. I'm going to investigate.
Hey, Elias, why don't you go with them?
All right, on it.
I'm just going to start cutting trees down full Paul Bunyan mode right now.
Find some fallen branches.
Nice.
Cut them off.
Just so you know, Eugene, you're too slow.
Any trees that Manfred cuts down, just work the branches off of that. Ooh, and make sure not to leave those needles. Those are very valuable.
Cool. So yeah, you could definitely start gathering. Branches. Larger branches. You could even cut down some smaller trees because there is an assortment of tree sizes here.
I trust the halfling.
There you
go. We're buddies.
Back down into the snow.
So what?
See me in 10 minutes.
Eugene is going to go check out the snowdrifts.
Terrible drawing.
I'm sorry. With Aiden saying, if you don't see me in 10 minutes, I now have the strongest urge to take my spear and tie it to him like a flagpole. But I feel like that would take it a step too far.
Put a bell on the halfling.
We can't hear a bell. The wind.
No, the wind's blowing pretty. You would hear a bell.
So one thing I do want to mention, that based on the light source, you guys probably don't want to get more than about 20 feet apart. Okay. Outside of that, you're just looking at snow. You won't really pick up much. Now, what's really nice is with all of the snow there, that light is actually reflective pretty well, and you can see a good 20 feet.
How far away are the snow thingies?
The snowdrifts are kind of all around because of the way the wind is blowing. There are more snowdrifts up in front of the tree and closer to the building than there are in the open areas, but it's a kind of a mix. They're all around you.
But we'd still be able to see Eugene.
Yeah, I mean, provided he's not walking too far away. I just want to
no.
that out.
I'd be getting out to about the edge of the light source.
So here, Eli, you had mentioned that Eugene was going to go check out the snowdrifts and go see what's going on. To me, that's triggering a discern realities roll.
All right.
And that one, if you wouldn't mind, Eli, if you can open that up and read it, and then go ahead and make the roll.
Discern realities. When you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom. Either way, take +1 forward when acting on the answers. 10 and up, I ask the GM 3 questions from a provided list. 7 to 9, I ask 1 question.
Now, here is where Joe inserts. It doesn't have to be exactly a question on the list. A lot of times people just want to know like things like, are there tracks here or something like that, right? And if you know a specific thing you want to ask, and that's why you were discerning realities, you can ask that. Otherwise, you can just do as it says and pick from the list. The lists are obviously very generic questions that could apply to almost any situation.
Yep.
So go ahead and make that discern realities roll, and let's see what we got to work with.
Wow, I am not doing great tonight. Partial success of 8.
Well, remember, that's still a success, but instead of choosing 3 things to ask, you may ask 1 thing with the 7 to 9.
I am going to ask, what here is not what it appears to be?
Now I can tell you exactly.
That is straight from the list.
Yep, it is. So you can actually, while you're taking the time to study, you can actually see the snowdrifts move in opposing directions of the wind. So the snowdrifts are moving on their own. And you can tell that, let's say the snowdrifts have a mind of their own. So you can tell that the snowdrifts are not what they appear to be. They're not just snowdrifts, if they are snowdrifts at all.
Okay. That is unsettling, and I will return to the group.
Manfred, you're chopping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A snowball hits you in the back of the head.
Who's behind me? Like, where is Aiden and Tyrion?
At this point, your entire party is within your visual range, and you got hit in the back of the head with a snowball. And it felt like it was meant to hurt.
That scout's a jerk.
I kind of I don't completely turn around, but I kind of just stare back a little bit to see what I can see, like almost like just so in case the person's looking at me doesn't really see me, like turn and look, just to see if they'll try it again when I'm kind of not like partially looking, you know what I mean?
What you can tell right at the edge of the reflective light that's actually making its way to where you're looking is there is a silhouette of something that just looks like a big lump with like stick arms coming out of it.
About how far away?
Between 10 and 20 feet ish. Kind of hard to tell with the shadows that are there and the amount of stuff blowing around.
Is this before Eugene gets back? I assume Elias, did you go with Eugene or no?
Yeah, I think I went with Eugene to go pick up the, what did you say, branches or random wood that was laying around?
Well, it was Aiden and Manfred that were doing the wood, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
Eugene asked Aiden to help Manfred and gave him a hatchet to do it.
So Elias was just the light carrier, unless he picked something else to do.
So
I guess I was
standing in the middle of everybody. So
I was trying to. I guess I would have been trying to like make sure no one got too far and just kind of like try to stay between everybody, so no one got into the dark.
So does the snowball happen before Eugene gets back to the?
Yes.
All right, Aiden. Did you see that? You see that, Aiden?
No, I was looking towards Aiden at the time.
Yeah, I'm talking to Aiden. Not a lie.
Oh, damn. Sorry.
I didn't realize this was going to be such a problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you thought you thought the problem was going to be me and my name.
Elias here in the wind going, what?
What? Did you say?
Did Aiden see the snowball hit Manfred?
Oh, no, or even like you see that thing back there?
No.
I described like the stick figure.
Oh, if you indicate in that direction, then yes, Aiden would see the same thing. There's a figure there. It's kind of a silhouette, spindly arms sticking out of this like blob of something that is kind of moving, shifting and moving in like opposite ways of the wind.
How much do I have enough wood to go back yet, or do we still technically need more?
You're probably needing to be out here for close to an hour, and you've been out here just a few minutes.
Oof.
Because it's going to take a fair amount of time to cut up enough that even their, their super duper awesome fireplace in the workshop is still going to need plenty. Probably you're going to need that toboggan full.
It's a big
to burn for hours.
So I didn't see the snowball hit, but I do see what he's pointing at.
Yeah. He's the way I interpreted, Chris, what you just said was you're just kind of indicating in that direction, like
that head over there,
Yeah, exactly. So he's not like pointing and say, walk over there and look, right? He's just surreptitiously trying to get you to look over there, and you see what he saw.
Can you make out what that is?
Aiden will kind of do the same little side eye and see if there's anything different to be seen.
Do you know anything about odd things in the snow? Or are you just trying to study it and figure out what's going on?
I'm just trying to kind of like study it inconspicuously.
Well, that's a discern realities right there.
I can do that.
Let's go for it. And we just had one of those rolls, so we don't need to read that one again right away.
All right.
So this is a plus wisdom roll. And at this point, Aster's going to say why she just guffawed.
That's a 6 total.
Cool. All right. So a 6 means bad overall. It's a failure. All it means right now is that you don't know what it is.
What do I have to do with that?
This is a failure that I'm going to hold on to. Now, if you look in Foundry, one of the things in the results is a Mark XP button. You can actually click that, and it should add an XP to your character.
Mark XP. Got it. Okay.
And I haven't done 3, or are we not worried about that? It should. So just double check on your character sheet to make sure you got 1 experience.
Well, we all started at 3 originally.
Yeah.
So make sure you got another one.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, cool.
Whatever it is, make sure you get 1 more. Yeah. So you didn't. The short of it is right now you can't make out what it is. You have no more information than what I've already given you.
The short of it.
Get out.
We are out.
Eli, you mentioned Tyrion doesn't have great senses. Is that all sense, like everything, or?
So, he's still an animal. He'll still have animal senses, but like one of the traits I could have taken for him was keen senses, which I guess would have meant like he's supernaturally good at sensing things, feeling things out. He is still an animal, so in conditions like this, he's probably not going to see or hear much of anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, does Tyrion have any reaction to that thing? Or
so here's where I'd like Eli to take a look at it to double down on this. But essentially, in Dungeon World for the Ranger, the animal companion isn't necessarily its own identity. It's not its own thing. Entity. I didn't mean identity. It's not its own entity when it comes to things like moves in the game, etc. What it does is it assists Eugene when Eugene tries to do a move. So like if it's an attack and you want the dino to go bite him too, then you can get an addition to your damage or something like that. Yep. But the dino itself isn't necessarily making the attack. It's just kind of how it works. So with that in mind, I guess what I'd be looking for is if Eugene is going to try and figure it out and his animal companion has any bonuses to him helping figure it out, that's how that would work. And it would be the animal helping him figure it out, and we can word it that way, story-wise.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for like, Tyrion starts to act weird because there's some supernatural thing, just and it kind of like freaks him out, kind of, Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking for. Or is he relaxed? It's like, it's just some snow thing with some sticks. I don't care.
I played it so far, me playing a little bit of Tyrion, he's comfy in his bearskin coat.
Yeah.
Aiden will kind of relay like that they can literally see it, but nothing special, and then we'll ask like what happened.
That'd be for Manfred. Aiden's asking what happened that you were asking.
I got hit in the back of the head with a snowball. which normally I don't really care, but it's kind of cold
Aiden
out
will
here.
laugh a little.
It's kind of annoying.
Aiden actually fully turns around to look at it. Is it actively moving or doing anything, or is it just there?
As you fully turn to face it, look at it, see what it is, it looks like it just kind of falls down into the snow.
Aiden throws a snowball at the spot that it fell down into.
Nothing happens.
I go back to chopping wood, but I try to face that direction now instead of sitting my back.
Aiden just goes. It also goes back to chopping wood.
Yeah, but I'm now facing that direction instead of having my back to it.
As Manfred faces that direction, ish, all right, and Aiden's already looking in that direction. Aiden, you get a snowball in the back of the head.
From behind me now?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at...
That's pretty good accuracy because that's all you can really see is her head, probably.
Yep. It makes it easier. Single small target sticking out of the snow.
I have dark hair and I'm in snow. That's
in the white snow. Now, if you had yellow hair, that might leave you alone.
Yeah, I have white hair. What the hell?
All right.
But you have black armor.
That's true.
Aiden will do similar to how Manfred described, just slowly, barely looking to the direction that is now behind Aiden.
And the thing you saw looks more defined and closer. And as far as you can tell, it's all white, like a big blob, a silhouette of snow. I wouldn't say necessarily humanoid shaped, but you can see again two spindly arms sticking out of it.
How close
and
is
it's
it?
Closer. So where you would guess 10 to 20 feet before, definitely closer to 10 feet now.
Can I just full speed run at it?
Yes.
All right, I just go. See if you can get to it before it goes into the.
As you run towards it, snow hardens around your feet, making it very difficult to move. What do you do?
I will defy danger with my strength.
Let's try that. So you're going to act despite an imminent threat or suffering a calamity. And how are you dealing with it with your strength? So you're just kind of like it says by powering through.
Yeah, high stepping it, so my feet aren't getting stuck.
Okay.
All right, let's see if I can pull it off.
That's what.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So it lets you choose what
in Foundry, when you click Defy Danger, it comes up with which stat do you want to use?
You stumble, hesitate, or flinch.
Oh, so you got a 9, so a partial success. You are making your way there, but it's taking longer, and it almost looks as if the thing is taunting you.
You said it has limbs, like wooden limbs?
There's spindly arms sticking out of this, what looks like a snow blob.
All right, I will toss the hatchet at one of the spindly arms since I'm getting stuck.
Oh, let's do that. That sounds like a volley.
It sure does.
So this one is staying the way that it is, even though we're looking at it?
Say that one more time.
This one is staying the way that it is, even though we're looking at it. It's not.
Yeah, it appears to be engaged in the confrontation now.
Okay.
Snow blob, the douchebag.
I'm pretty shitty at deck, so this is gonna be fun.
Anybody else at this point would probably see this happening. Manfred was chopping wood, which would have been kind of an obvious monotonous thud, 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 and then that stops. And Manfred turns around and starts running. Doesn't get very far, couple of feet tops, and probably looks like he's trying to slog through 2 feet of mud.
Yeah. And he launches his hatchet.
And I see him tackling a pile of snow.
No, he's throwing a hatchet at it right now.
Yeah, we'll see, because my dex is kind of crappy, so we'll see how this works out. Yeah, totally.
Hey, make sure you click that mark experience for that 6.
Oh, sweet.
That's a fair. Your hatchet just flies wide and will probably never be found.
Yeah, we're not getting that back.
Yeah.
Manfred, what are you? Whoa! You almost hit me.
Fire in the hole. Hatchet in the wind.
You know what? Randy just gave us a little blob look, and that's not too far off. It would be taller, but not too far off at all, Randy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What I would say now, here's something for Eli. Eugene would have seen the snowdrifts kind of like that, right? So that it's definitely not a normal looking snowdrift. It's not sane, if you will, because snowdrifts are very sane, right? I mean, on their own, for whatever reason, I think. But this thing is definitely animated. That's the easiest way to put it. Animated snow, maybe. It's a snow machine. It will have you. So the hatchet goes wide. After that hatchet goes wide, flying off into the distance, you see two more of these things kind of form on either side of the one that you're looking at. And they start to slowly move forward.
Aiden's going to get back on the toboggan.
Mush, Dino, mush.
No, just to get their feet out of the snow, seeing what just happened to Manfred. They just want solid ground that isn't snow.
There you go. What is Eugene and Elias? What are y'all doing?
Well, I seen them attack is making sure everyone is, close together still enough in the light. Does it seem like everyone's heading towards the thing now, or is everyone just kind of scattering?
Right now, Manfred's the only one headed towards them, but slowly. Again, fighting the snow to get through. Whereas you guys have just been able to push through this light, fluffy snow. Like I said, from the outward appearance, Manfred probably looks like he's slogging through a couple feet of mud.
All right. So I guess for now he's going to maintain the light. Why is that sideways? It doesn't matter. Here you go.
Eugene is going to think back on all the stories he's heard, the monsters he's fought, the people he's spoken to, and try and remember if any of them have spoken of snow monsters.
You're going to consult your accumulated knowledge about snow monsters. That's a spout lore right there.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. That's rolling plus intelligence. I don't know what the ranger has for intelligence modifier, but we're about to find out.
Nothing great, nothing terrible.
There you go. Let's see what the roll does then.
Partial success.
All right, 9. So you got a 9. And with that, the result is the GM will tell you something interesting. It's on you to make it useful. So what I would tell you is you probably remember this from a winter you spent somewhere. And I'll ask you, after I tell you what it is, I'll ask you to explain where you learned it. At one point in time, you were out doing something, and there was some oddities in the snow. And when you ran upon a local, the local told you there was an old myth about how some snow comes alive and it can be controlled by evil magic. And they call them snow fiends.
Question. Is it wearing a hat?
It is not wearing a hat. I wish I thought of that earlier. Because there might have been some magic.
The hat off.
Yeah. In that old soap hat they found.
Do we have a hat?
That we could put it on them and then immediately rip it back off.
Okay.
So that is something that you learned. Magical creatures controlled by magic, essentially. So there's most likely, I guess, probably the one thing that I want to emphasize is they're under the control of something else. These things don't exist on their own.
Okay.
Now,
they are natural beings. Well, with that, I'll shout to Manfred. Manfred, I believe these to be snow fiends. They're controlled by evil magics. Purge them.
How does one purge these fiends?
Usually with fire.
We'll figure it out together.
I always hate that answer.
Wait, did you say he? Did you say he knows that they're controlled by something something on the outside, or do you share that?
I have said that they are controlled by evil magics.
Yeah.
And they must be purged. Getting brownie points with the Inquisitor here.
Joe, does I am the law work against assailants like this or no?
It says on PCs, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want to automatically assume.
As long as it's an entity. In this case, these are entities.
Okay.
I mean, they're animated by something else, but think like gargoyle kind of thing. A gargoyle might still listen to what you tell it to do, even though there's.
I wasn't sure if it was kind of like a golem, kind of like, well, I'm just going by someone else's orders, so I'm not really thinking for myself. A snowlum.
Do you have to be able to like see what you're talking to when you use that?
I think the only requirement is they have to be able to hear Manfred.
Yeah, so
because it is a spoken command. I think that's the only
that one.
I mean, it's really up to us. If it doesn't say it clearly on the paper, then it's up to us to determine.
Yell into the void at the wizard to fucking stop. It's already cold out here. No, thank you.
Joe, I'd like to use guidance at this time after hearing Eugene yell at Manfred about it being evil magics. So yeah, sure. I'd like to cast guidance to have my deity lead me towards the direction of the person that casts this spell, if she can.
So guidance will lead you based on what? Based on something you ask your deity?
The symbol of your deity appears before you and gestures towards the direction or course of action your deity would have you take, then disappears. The message is through gesture only, so your communication through this spell is severely limited.
Okay.
So she would either just kind of appear and just kind of like point me in a direction, or yeah.
So you go ahead and cast the spell, and then tell me what it is you are asking. Oh my gosh!
Oof!
I mentioned how difficult it is to fail. You guys are managing it nonetheless.
I rolled a terrible roll.
That'd be a 4.
So nothing happens.
So, well, at this point, what's going to happen is you're going to lose the ability to cast that spell till the next time you commune. So guidance is lost for now.
She's annoyed. Isn't it obvious?
Start communing right now.
Asking me questions. You get this
not
feedback
where they are.
You get this feedback in your head. Everything's white. How the hell do I know?
Even if I did point it out to you, you couldn't find it.
But not really. I don't think Bartholomew the Pure or whatever her name is.
Bethany.
Bethany, yeah.
Bethany.
Pure is the driven snow.
And here's what I was thinking. As one of our regular stupid comments, when you were talking about the symbol of your deity, all I could think was, what is it, like a condom for Bethany the Pure?
Oh, God.
Wow.
What would it be? Because this is going to be important at some point. What is the symbol of Bethany the Pure?
The symbol, I thought that's all planned out, but I'm just going to reread it. It's the symbol of your deity appears before you. So.
Because if you get to use that spell again, we'll want to know what it is we see. That's all. So Elias attempted to solicit help from his deity, and it did not happen. What else y'all doing? These things are shuffling is probably the best way to word it. Closer, not at any rapid pace.
How far from Manfred are these things now?
Really close to like arm's reach with the tip of your sword, but not quite. If you could get your foot out of the damn snow, you could reach them, but they're like staying right out of your reach.
Yeah, do I need to make another defy danger roll to kind of like unstick myself, or
you're currently stuck while we go around the table and see if anyone else is doing something?
Okay, can I try the I am the law thing while I'm stuck?
Yeah, I mean, if nobody else is ready to speak up, go for it.
Oh yeah, I'll let somebody else try to do
By the
something.
way, as a little Dungeon World expose thing, we're in initiative, we're in combat, but it doesn't play like D&D. We just keep playing the same way. So just to let you guys know, this is an encounter that you're actually in the middle of now. We're going to play it this way. We don't take turns. We don't make rolls to see who goes first, who goes next. I like to play it almost like a movie. It's a lot of times when we're playing Dungeon World, I'll refer to like a camera angle, in this angle, we see this shot, and then the camera pans out, and then we see Elias over here. What's he doing? Right. Something like that. So I'll play it a lot like that. What I would encourage you to do is anytime you think your character wants to be doing something, speak up, kind of like what Chris just did. Of, can I get out of this? Can I do the I am the law? Can I whatever? Just speak up anytime you have an idea of what your character might be doing, because you'll never be out of turn. I may ask you, like I just did with Chris, to hold on to see if anyone else that hasn't done anything in a while is going to do something. But otherwise, just speak up. We're definitely going to make sure that you get to do everything that you want your character to be able to do.
Yeah, I'll hold if somebody's got something.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood that between my adventuring gear, extra clothes, and poison equipment, I could makeshift a Molotov cocktail?
Oh, I like this.
Well, here's the deal. I think a Molotov cocktail would be regular adventuring gear. You'd have a piece of cloth and a vial of oil in your backpack. Mark off a use of adventuring gear if you've got it. You've got one.
The real question is it a halfling-sized Molotov or a human?
Excuse me.
Molotov?
Excuse me. Shut up.
Just a little.
It's a Molotov cocktail in a shot glass with a little cotton ball sticking out of it.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's like a little chocolate liqueur.
No, you guys can freeze. It's fine.
I got it. But it's a nip bottle. It's one of those little tiny bottles. Yeah.
Do you want me to help or not?
It will have exactly the same effect, but we still get to joke about how small it is. That's what she said.
Good things come in small packages.
And small packages come in good things.
Hey-oh.
Hey.
Right.
What kind of party is this?
It's lit.
So yes, Aiden is going to work on trying to fashion one of those.
Done. What are you doing with it?
I would like to throw it at the snow fiend that is picking on Manfred to hopefully see if it will free his feet.
Poof! You got the Molotov cocktail lit and you're ready to throw it. That would be a volley.
He's volley good.
Because you're going to take aim and throw it at an enemy that is at a range from you.
What's the matter, Manfred? Are you scared?
He should be.
I don't like fire because I'm a scarecrow. No, just kidding.
I throw things for a living. It'll be fine. Unless you make another comment about my height, and then whoops.
Yeah.
Can you get your arm out over the snow to throw?
I'm in the toboggan.
Oh, all right. Good.
That's a 9.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. On a volley, when you have a 7 to 9, you have to choose one after you also deal damage, because we're going to be dealing damage as this fire and it's snow. But we're going to be reducing the amount of damage because of the roll. And the other options are like putting you in danger or taking several shots, reducing your ammo. Your Molotov cocktail doesn't have ammo. It's one thing, so we're not going to do that one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to let you stay on the toboggan. What we're going to do is just reduce the amount of damage. So what we're going to do with that is your character has a damage die on your sheet. And it should be at the top of your sheet.
Yes.
You're going to roll that damage. I don't know what it is for a thief. I think it's a D8. All right. So we're going to do a D8. And then we're also separately going to roll a D6 and minus that from the D8.
Okay. So D8. I got a 7.
So you got 7 there. And then you can just roll a D6 if you click. There you go. You got it.
Awesome.
All right. So you're going to reduce it by 1 because of that 7 to 9 roll, the partial success on the volley. We'll reduce the damage by 1, but you're still going to do 6. Now, where you toss that, right where it's not going to affect Manfred, and you hit the snow fiends pretty much at their base, the fire spreads, melts a bunch of snow quickly, and then kind of gets fizzled out. We're talking about, say 10 seconds or so. Excuse me, here. And those things, the snow fiends, the one that's in the center kind of just collapses, and the other two disperse. They just fly off. Well, fly is the wrong word. They move very quickly across the surface of the snow, and
they roll out.
Yeah, roll out.
Is Manfred able to move his feet now?
As soon as that heat hit, it started loosening where Manfred's feet are. So it appears that the heat did it, not the act of hitting the snow fiend.
Okay.
And y'all need to excuse me for just a second. I'll be right back, but talk amongst yourselves.
How are you doing, Manfred?
Pretty good now, thank you. Okay, what's the breakdown? Aiden's obviously a halfling. I'm human. Eugene, Elias, what are you guys?
Elias is a human.
I believe I just made him human. Yes,
Okay,
human.
I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember everybody's deal.
3 humans and a halfling.
I love that show.
3 and a half halflings. 3.5 humans.
Is that like 1.5 people?
I don't know.
Again, we're leaving out the dinosaur. That's awfully rude considering everything he's doing for us right now.
Yeah.
I get to be the Charlie Sheen character, and
Tyrion did so much in that encounter. How dare you just ignore him?
yeah, Elias held up the light so you could see.
My
Look
baby
up
boy.
I was trying to hunt down the exact person causing the spell to happen, but that didn't work.
That would be nice. I feel like we're just going to be, fighting snowmen. It's not going to do anything unless we got Molotovs.
Well, fighting the snowman could have merit in and of itself. If it takes an expenditure of energy for each snowman, then we can slowly whittle away their energies.
Or, I'd settle for "you're welcome."
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I'd say you're not even here, but you are. Motherfuck.
I'm confused.
Should I be cutting down trees, or should I just be holding this light for you guys? I really don't know what to do here.
We definitely need to be cutting down trees.
I have a warhammer. That seems weird.
So,
I mean, how good's your strength?
+1. Not
so
terrible.
take the hatchet that I lent to Aiden, partially cut into the tree, and use the hammer to knock the tree the rest of the way.
I was thinking about
Simple
Manfred throwing his. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that hatchet's gone.
That's lost forever.
Yep, no more hatchet.
The blizzard has already filled up the hole in the snow that it made.
All right, so what are we doing next?
We'll finish gathering firewood.
Yeah, because you said we were only 10 minutes into an hour session of cutting down wood.
So they dispersed.
Have you been the branches you're cutting? They're going onto the toboggan.
Yes. Elias is going to take Aiden's hatchet and start cutting down a tree.
Rude.
It's my hatchet.
Aiden, while you're on the toboggan, you see the branches start to writhe and reach out towards you.
Of course.
Motherfuck.
What do you do?
Swear. Gosh.
Is everything okay, Aiden?
Roll to offend.
Do you see more snow fiends?
What does it fucking look like?
I'm having trouble seeing.
Aiden's got a potty mouth.
Does Aiden actually exclaim something when Aiden sees the branches moving?
Oh yeah.
Then others would hear the exclamation.
Very much so. They could probably hear Aiden back at the building.
There you go. Anybody who turns to look would see that the branches on the toboggan are starting to writhe and reach towards Aiden.
And you said defend?
Eugene is going to do the only thing that he really knows how to do and try and shoot it.
So when the way it works, so the defend piece, you wouldn't necessarily use defend unless you're defending a person or a place. That's what defend is intended to be for. It would be if the vines are coming towards you, this is where you would probably choose to move out of the way, defy danger, that kind of thing. Or you might choose to immediately, grab your weapon and hack at the branches, in which case we'd go straight to a hack and slash kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, you may choose whatever you want. Those are the two things I would think are would be the most common.
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to try to get out of the way because I have the best chance of being able to do that. And I'm going to do it dexterously.
So that would be defying danger, and it sounds like with dexterity. So let's get that roll in there.
And I could just click dexterity on the character sheet.
You can click the defy danger thing, and it will pop up a thing where you can choose dexterity.
Brilliant.
It's a good way to do it, mainly because that's what it will show in the log that you click defy danger.
Oh my!
However, you managed.
You're gonna level up.
Roll a 6, so you did not get out of the way. And anybody who turned to look when Aiden made the exclamation sees that the branches have now grabbed Aiden's arms and legs and are holding the halfling firm down against the toboggan.
Elias had
who gets cool new jewelry? Me.
Elias had just taken Aiden's axe to start cutting at a tree, but now we'll be using it to cut at this tree.
Holy,
it's my axe!
And my other axe.
Don't damage the toboggan.
I already said I'm shooting it.
So I'm cutting at the tree.
Okay. What is Eugene doing?
He's shooting the branches because that's kind of the only way he knows how to deal with problems.
The branches that are on the halfling. Cool. All right. Let's see what happens. That's a volley. Unless you're doing what was it called? Shot for the ranger? I'm trying to remember what that starting move
is.
Yes,
there's a called shot. It
is essentially volley plus effect.
Yeah.
Right, because you still do your damage, but then you can choose an effect if you use the ranger's starting move.
Yeah, you know what? I will do a called shot.
Okay. So since it's the first time we're going to do it, go ahead and read that one out quick, please.
Called shot. When you attack a defenseless or surprised enemy at range, you can choose to either deal your damage automatically or name your target and roll plus dex. 10 plus, choose a target location from the list and deal your damage. 7 to 9, choose a target, but don't deal damage. I was going to be aiming for arms since that seems to be what they are. However, I rolled a 4, so there are complications.
Who's going to level up now?
No. So in this case, mark off 1 ammo. Absolutely. Because that is important to a ranger. But you're going to mark off 1 ammo, and that arrow you shot is going to cut one of the ropes holding the toboggan to Tyrion.
That's fine. I probably have some rope in my pack. Probably.
Elias is chopping down trees. Manfred.
I thought you were chopping at
No, I was chopping at the one that was holding Aiden.
Oh, all right.
He took it to. He had just taken it to go chop down trees, but as soon as she was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" It was like, okay. "Oh, let's help you out."
All right, I missed part of what you said there. So cool. Let's go a hack and slash.
All right.
You're literally going to hack it.
And I rolled a terrible roll too.
Oh, God.
We can't do anything.
Would like to keep my limbs.
Oh my gosh.
This is the end of us.
So, and at this point, what happens is when you swing the hatchet at the branches holding down Aiden, the head of the hatchet flies off the handle and gets lost in the snow.
Oh, thank goodness.
My axe!
My body!
And the other axe. So at this point, we are going to. So one of the things you may notice here is I never have to roll dice the way this game works. It's you guys rolling everything, including when you take damage. So what we're going to do with that here is, Aiden, you're going to take a D4 of damage while these branches are just constricting more. Since so far we haven't been able to do anything about it.
So Elias will say, "I'm sorry" to Aiden, and then say, "I'm sorry to Eugene."
Can I try to like pull Aiden out of these, like out of the branches, or pull the branches off? Or okay.
Yeah. Aiden, did you want to try anything else while Manfred's heading over there to reach for those branches?
First, did you say I have to take a D4?
You're going to take a D4 of damage, yeah, because they've grabbed you and they've just been constricting and hurting you.
Okay, let me do that because I need one thing at a time. That's a 4.
Ouch.
Ooh, yes.
We're all just gonna die. That's
We're
the
just
other side
gonna
of it going.
It's fine. Anyways, you said that it like all of the limbs are like I am not able to like grab one of my 10,000 daggers.
Right. Well, at this point, the way it currently is situated, you're kind of splayed out on the toboggan, and the branches are holding your hands and your legs down.
Oh, you're holding hands.
Is it because I'm short? They're trying to pull out my. Anyways.
It's because you sat next to the branches that were being animated next. That's the only reason.
Hear me out.
You just happen to be in the wrong place at the right time.
Oh my gosh.
You can try anything. Like the danger now is you're getting crushed. You can choose to defy that danger in some way. You choose how you would try to do that, and then we roll to see if it happens. It could be that you're strong enough to actually pull your hand out of this branch. You won't know till you roll.
I know, but I have a -1.
But you thought you were going to be successful with dexterity at a +2.
Okay, you're not wrong.
Let's just swing it 3 in the opposite direction and hope for the best. But really, it is all. This is the way I like to play the Dungeon World piece. Like I was saying, think of this. The camera has now zoomed in. There's this toboggan with a severed rope on it, and the halfling Aiden is laying there back down on the toboggan, being held in place, like bound in place by bits of evergreen branches. And you can smell and feel the sap practically getting stuck to your skin and almost seeping through. And you're like, gross. Yeah, you're cold. Right. What is Aiden going to do about that?
Trying to power through is the only way I could see working, because normally I would want to try and like slip out or get out of the way, but just from what you're describing, it's pretty sturdy, and it seems like it's more of a strength thing.
Well, you also think out of the obvious of the stuff that's written there, and something to, and I'm just going to say this because it's something that could happen, maybe not to a tree, but maybe you can move your hand enough to tickle a spot of it to where it lets you go enough that you can pull your hand out, and that would be all dexterity to me, right? It's like, think outside of the, I can't get out of its way. Don't worry about that, because that's just one of the things that could happen dexterity wise.
Ideally, I would like to see if there is a way that I can either distract it or just with flexibility, just like kind of slip out, like even just a hand to grab a dagger.
Okay. So you're going to, as much as possible, try and slip a hand out.
Yes.
So that you can grab a weapon. Let's try that. We'll go with dexterity at this point. I'm going to switch my screen. I shouldn't have looked. What is this with another 6? You're about to level up, bro. So anyway, that's another failure. It doesn't happen. Your hand is firmly held in place.
Firmly grasp it.
After Manfred tries to...
all right. Manfred, you were headed over there while Aiden was trying to get out.
Yep.
You're there.
I am going to I just want to like rip. I'm just basically just trying to rip the branches off, like I don't know if it's like wrists or whatever.
You're going to Manfred handle it?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Manfred handle it.
So to me, the danger is, at this point, it's a danger still that Aiden is still trapped and is getting hurt. And you're going to try and get through that danger by helping out. And that's all strength. So let's go for it.
Yep. You know.
All right. So here's what will happen. You're going to be able to help Aiden get a hand free. And Aiden, while that's happening, you will take another D4 of damage.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent.
Ouchies.
And just as a note, I believe everybody here has started somewhere in the range of like 20 hit points.
Yeah.
So taking 4 and 2 is substantial, but it's still not half your hit points yet, most likely. All right. So it can add up quick. So I don't want to minimize it, but I also want to make sure it's not like level 1 insta death kind of thing, because
like that
way tougher than that. So that
Elias
that freed a hand for Aiden. While that's happening, what's Eugene up to?
Eugene is actually going to take some time to look around and see if any more of those snow fiends have come around, because we all are kind of focused on this, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, you realize as you look around, you are surrounded by these, probably somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 of them.
Ah, cool. Target rich environment.
Yeah,
I'm taking shots.
There you go. I will point out, aside from the snowballs, the snow fiends hadn't actually done anything else yet, except maybe intimidation. But just so you know, they hadn't dealt damage. The animated branches did, though. But just letting you know that it looks like
branches look like their arms. I'm pretty sure they'd choke us out if they had the chance.
Let's do another discern realities here to see if I can give you some more information here, because it's obvious that you got surrounded, but as you study this a little bit, like you said, you're going to look around and see what's going on. Let's do another discern realities, please, for Eugene.
What? Well,
huh?
I was trying to see if I could get Tyrion to help, but no, he is trained to fight humanoids and to fight monsters. So I'm on my own here.
Yeah, when it comes to figuring that out.
All right, discern realities. I got an 11.
Look at that, a whole success. So essentially, it says you can ask 3 questions from the list. You can ask more than that, but here I'm going to use one of them up for you, because I'm going to tell you the thing that I was going to say, but I wanted to make sure your character would figure it out.
All right.
It looks like, well, you can tell. Let me put it this way: you can tell clearly that the snow fiends seem to be there to keep you in place. They're like a wall to not let you past them.
Okay.
Now you have 2 other things you can ask from there. I wanted to make sure you knew that that's what they appear to be there for.
So I would like to know how capable these snow fiends are of harming us.
They could damage you, but it appears that the damage would be like snowball damage, if you will. If you get hit with enough snowballs in the face, yeah, it hurts.
Okay.
But they don't.
I mean, my limbs don't feel great.
Yeah. They appear that the snow fiends are more of an obstacle than an enemy, if you will.
Okay.
An
my
obstinate.
Final question would be: is there a noticeable weak point in their little circle? A smaller snow fiend, a wider gap between them?
Off to the direction you came from, where the workshop is, you can see there are 2 snow fiends, and past them you can see what looks like a shadowy figure just a little further past. So you don't necessarily see a weak point, but while you're looking around, you do see something there that is not a snow fiend, and definitely doesn't look like a branch. Looks like a shadowy humanoid figure.
Santa.
And I say shadowy because it's dark and you don't have enough light to light it up. That's all.
Well, if it looks humanoid from here, it's probably not a gnome or a dwarf. And I know I've used up all my questions.
Yeah, well, you're talking as far as what you see from where you're seeing it, probably 6 foot tall, kind of slender, but definitely humanoid.
Just tell him you've been good this year.
Yeah, I'll shout out to the group. Get Aiden free. The snow fiends have surrounded us. They're trying to keep us here.
Elias. That's Randy.
Well, I was initially going to. I know. I was originally going to do discern realities, but you had him do it. So
you still.
I guess I'll continue.
Describe what your character. Describe what you want your character to do, and if that fits discern realities, we just do it again. It doesn't really.
You can always learn something more,
right? Because he didn't.
So
he didn't ask what happened here recently. What's about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? We don't know any of that right now.
That's true.
But when
Did
it comes
Aiden
down
get
to
free,
it,
by the way?
describe what you want your character to do or what your character is doing, and we use a move only when it's triggered.
Yeah,
I think
Elias had just.
Go ahead, Elias.
Okay. Elias had just tried to get her free with the axe, and then the head of it came off. So you said only one of her hands got free, or did Manfred rip?
Manfred came over and ripped a branch off of her arm, Aiden's arm, his arm, and it's that arm is now free, and we're about to see what Aiden does with it as soon as we figure out what you're up to. Unless you don't know.
Well, since she needs to get free before we can even move forward and hopefully not get surrounded, you'll drop the handle and start ripping at some branches too, just to try to get her free.
So give me a Defy Danger with strength, please.
Okay.
Since you're not trying to damage them, it wouldn't be a hack and slash. You're just trying to rip them off. At least what you're just.
Yeah, I don't have any more bladed weapons anyway.
God, another red roll. Red mean fail.
What the going on?
So make sure you mark that experience. And
all right,
5.
So as Elias is grabbing at the branches, trying to pull them free, the snow hardens around his feet, and branches reach out and grab both of his hands. So your hands and feet are currently bound. Aiden, you've got a hand free.
I'll make sure to grip the light so it doesn't fall.
What?
You got the light still, yeah.
I just gripping the light to make sure it doesn't fall. Don't want to go to darkness while we're out here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and go for a dagger to hack and slash some branches.
You got it. You got a dagger. Right. And you want to poke. You want to poke the wood with your knife.
I sure do.
All right, let's do it. That's a hack and slash faux show. Oh my
God! We're are you sure we're the characters in this game?
Yeah, and you're going to.
We were on holiday.
You're going to be even.
I was not ready for this.
It's our off season.
You're not actually catching us at our best.
So, by the way, that's a 4. That would count as another failure.
Sure, it's a 4.
It has no effect. You're just poking at this thing, and it doesn't appear to be doing anything.
It's like
remember when we were good at these games?
Between your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you have that knife going in between your fingers, like Eli said, and you can't hit your finger no matter how hard you try. Or it's somebody else's hand and you're not feeling the pain, so you don't know it.
This is a bad spot to be in.
You're still right there. So now we've got Aiden, Elias, and Manfred all like bundled around the toboggan, essentially.
And Eugene was the only one to see the shadowy figure off in the distance.
Yes, I haven't mentioned him yet. We kind of have more pressing matters.
I'm going to do another, try to rip out the free another hand for Aiden.
Yeah, go for it. We'll do another Defy Danger with strength.
Yep.
Now, is this for Aiden or Elias?
Aiden.
Because Elias,
it doesn't matter right now, but it was for Aiden.
Okay, so
I think it's my. Well, I know I did have one failure earlier.
At this point, Eugene's going to have to save everybody. Right now, the branches from the tree you were chopping reach down and pick Manfred up into the air. Eugene? Save us, Eugene.
I turn back to look at my group. I turn around for 10 seconds.
6.
The party was hung by the tree with care.
This is why I have abandonment issues.
Okay. Let's see. How can I? Okay.
I'm gonna ask Tyrion to free me.
Yeah. As much as I would love to get the 2 bound people free, the guy that's up in the air is in the worst spot, so I'm gonna focus for him. I want to try and damage the base of the branch so that way Manfred's weight does the rest of the work. And I want Tyrion to assist by grabbing Manfred's boot and just pulling. See, I'm gonna be using my bow to like damage the branch. But I'm commanding Tyrion to aid me with attacking with this volley.
So you're going to try and hurt the branch essentially to let him go. Okay, let's go for it. Sounds like a volley, and we'll add. I think based on what you just described, we'll be adding the ferocity of
yes, it adds to my damage
of Tyrion to the damage. Yep. Okay.
Let's go for it. Here we go. Volley. Partial success with an 8.
Woo.
Yay.
All right. So I'm going to have you roll the damage while you think, unless you already know which one of those 3 things you want to choose for the partial success.
I know I'm playing right into the bad guy's hand, but I want to have to move to get the shot, putting me myself in danger. This should be fun.
Sure, why not? So go ahead and roll your damage. I think you get a D8 and add the
5 plus Tyrion's ferocity, which is 3 for a total of 8 damage to True Branch.
So at this point, when the arrow hits and Tyrion is locked his jaw on the branch to get Manfred to be let go, it works. The branch actually snaps under the extra weight, and so like you hit it with your arrow, and then with Tyrion and the weight of Manfred there, it all just kind of snaps at the point where you hit it so expertly. So the branch lets him go, falls to the ground, and you feel Eugene, you had to move, and you realize after you made that move that you moved with your back to that shadowy figure, and you can feel your back start to freeze, like there's ice forming on it.
Ice switch.
Ooh, ice switch. You didn't want to fight the sandwich.
Eugene does like exclaim in pain after taking the shot.
Okay. So
does anyone notice the shadowy figure besides Eugene?
No, but I did just call out an ice switch.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Well, here's the deal. Anybody who turns to look would see it. The thing is, nobody has had that need yet. Now there's a chance that you could turn and look. I would say the only person that probably couldn't would be Aiden, still being pinned down, kind of like laying on the toboggan, probably not being able to see over the snow. And for that matter, Elias is right there stuck as well. So yeah, Manfred, you would see the as has been named Ice Witch. You would see a figure, the same figure, tall, slender, definitely humanoid figure, right outside of the ring of snow fiends. Elias, what are you up to?
So my hands are like straight up in the air, pretty much, with the branches.
You were reaching down to the toboggan to rip the branches out.
Okay.
Your feet got frozen in the snow, and your hands got grabbed by the same branches holding Aiden down.
Okay, so as a cleric, I'm allowed to take another class's spell, and I had chosen Magic Missile for that spell.
Okay.
So I am going to angle my fingers towards the branch and fire said Magic Missile straight at that branch. All right. A spell. I'm always losing that page. Where is it? There it is. Roll. It's an 8, so it happens, but I get something happening to me.
You have to choose one of the other things there too, which is relevant that you choose it before I tell you the effect. So if you would please pick your downsides, if you will, the cost you want to pay for that success, because the spell is going to work. The spell is going to be cast as
guess I'll just do unwanted attention. Unwelcome attention. Sorry.
Okay.
And then do you want me to go roll the damage, or since it's a branch?
Yeah, you go ahead and roll the damage. What does Elias's?
It does 2d4.
What does the spell look like when Elias casts it? That's so much better than asking what Elias's magic missile looks like.
Since well, first I want to jump back to my god symbol. I want to go back to that real fast. First, it's a blue sword with like a heart on the just above the start of the blade. What that thing's called, foul something or another. So it's going to be blue kind of magic missiles that kind of shoot out, just like a water droplet kind of shaped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you got that. That happens. What was the damage?
All my spells are just in name, so I'll have to roll 2d4 probably naturally because it doesn't have anything in magic missile. So
yeah. Otherwise, you're just rolling the damage from your character.
Give me a d4.
In let's call it in Foundry and do a roll there. By the way. Yeah.
But then we don't get the click.
Okay. Well, I got a 2 and I got a 3.
That would be 5.
5 damage.
If I counted right.
2 and
so
3.
That worked.
5.
You're able to maneuver your hand enough to get your water-looking magic missile shot at the branches. The branch that's holding you, one end of it's holding you, the other end of it is pretty much holding Aiden. So in doing this, you free both your hand and Aiden's other arm. Aiden, you have 2 arms free now.
Excellent.
Legs are still bound, but 2 arms are free.
Valid.
And I'll let me just quickly reset the scene. Eugene is off to. Since your arms are free, you can probably lift your head up and move around now, or look around. Eugene is off to the side, maybe 15 feet. Call it off to your left, and looks like in the light you can actually see the shining of or the reflection of the light off of the ice forming on his back. Manfred just fell down from the tree, landed on his feet, whatever. But Manfred's right at the tree after being let go. And right where you are, like within arm's reach, is Elias, still with his feet bound in the snow and one arm being held by the branches.
Excellent. And I heard the exclamation, now that I can kind of get up. Can I see the ice switch?
As Eugene proclaimed it, yes, you can see that figure that you didn't see before. So Eugene mentioned that you were surrounded by snow fiends, and then also exclaimed Ice Witch. And you see the thing that is not a snow fiend out there.
Okay. Don't know how this is going to go. I am going to try to throw my dagger at the Ice Witch.
Very well. That's a volley.
Sorry. Put your eyebrows down. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'll put them away.
Cover them with the hat.
Put those away. We're on stream. Gosh.
Hey, TOS doesn't say nothing about eyebrows.
Mm.
Okay. And we said because ranged it would be volley?
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much when it's a physical attack, if it's melee, it's hack and slash. If it's not, it's volley.
Okay. And then we said it's not like any of the other editions. You don't get any like pluses for.
You do for strength.
Throwing daggers or dex.
Yeah, it's volley. Sorry, because it's volley, it's dex regardless. Yes.
Okay.
But if you had a dagger in your hand and you stab something, it's strength, unless you pick that thing for that. I think if it's a light weapon, I think you can use dexterity. I'm trying to remember what it is. Like in D&D, finesse. It's that, but it's a different name here. But anyway, so go ahead and throw a dagger as a volley, and let's see what we get. Don't say, "Oh damn."
13.
Oh damn!
That there is a complete success.
Oh my gosh! I needed one.
How many throwing daggers do you have?
8. I mean 7 now, but
I mean 7 now. All right. Make sure you mark that off. Okay. Roll your damage, please.
Just the damage thing at the top?
The thief damage. Essentially, everybody does the damage that their character class does, with the exception of spells. Spells are probably the only spot you go to do different damage.
Gotcha. That is a 4.
Okay. When you hit with that, when the dagger hits, you hear, Eugene, you being the closest, you actually hear a hissing, almost like if you were like insta boiling ice, like if you dropped ice in a hot pan kind of thing, where it just goes like, tss, you hear that when the dagger hits and the ice on your back like vanishes.
Does it affect any of the like branches, snow?
Thank you, Aiden.
Nah, not at this time, at least not with that hit. How about
Thanks.
that? Yeah. Anybody have a thought of what they want to do next?
I want to shoot Ice Switch.
When it comes to spells, what are you limited to when it comes to casting? Like,
cast till you can't cast no more. The game works as long as you're successful, you'll never run out of spells or arrows or throwing daggers or whatever. I guess throwing daggers is a bad example. As long as you're successful, you won't run out of these things. It's when you start failing that you start to run out.
Well, then, as Eugene's fired an arrow, I'm putting my finger at that thing too and releasing another magic missile.
Fantastic. Go for it.
What about man?
Another cast a spell.
Yeah, I got some stuff I want to do.
Yeah. We'll hit Manfred up next. I figured I'd throw it out as an open thing first. All right, we got a partial success.
Eight. Partial.
Go ahead and pick one of the costs to go along with this spell. You already drew some unwelcome.
I'm going to take the unwelcome. Oh, I can't do it again?
You can pick it again, and I'm just going to multiply the unwelcome attention that you're getting.
Remember, we're surrounded by like 15 snow fiends.
Yeah.
You're just going to get hit with like 8 snowballs.
And you got trees that are just grabbing you at random.
I guess I'll just take the -1 on casting spells until the next time I commune with my deity.
Okay. So that's the one thing to remember when it comes to casting another spell. Yep. All right, go ahead and roll your damage, and let's see what happens to El Huicho del Iso. I know, Eli, you don't understand Spanish.
Where did you say the dice were on this thing?
El Brujeria de Hielo.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Where do you say the dice were on this thing?
Rolling dice.
Where Joe?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Where's
you can type it.
It's the big die in the.
No, you have to. Well, see, when I click the big die, it doesn't work for me, so I didn't know if it was working for anyone else.
Oh yeah, it doesn't do anything.
I think you actually have to.
Okay. To.
You can roll physically.
Oh, whoops.
/R and the die size.
2d4.
Yeah, that didn't do
anything.
anything.
No,
That's what I was trying to.
Okay, I'll just
go ahead and roll your real dice. We'll trust.
All right, 2 and 2. It's 4.
Yeah, exactly. We'll trust you because you don't make up the high numbers. It's good.
Yep.
So when that happens,
I want to know.
As soon as that hits, Eugene, you hear more of that like sizzling sound. All of the branches give way that were holding Aiden down and Elias down. And Elias, the snow around your feet appears to loosen up some rather than being frozen solid.
Nice.
Manfred.
How far away is the shadowy figure?
It's right at the edge of the light, so probably figure 15 to 20 feet from where you are.
So tops. Could I make a run and attack?
Yes, you definitely can.
I will do that. Full speed ahead and the hack and slash with my longsword.
Well, you're the way that I have it pictured in my mind, you're pretty much just going to run past where the toboggan is, not right next to it, but you're running past that, past Eugene. Again, not right next to, but within 5 feet or so, in that direction. Everyone will see you run by. You can get there quick enough, and you can go with a Hork and Slorsh if you like. Unless you were doing
ignore that. I was just trying that out, so ignore that 7.
No problem.
But it wasn't a 7.
All right, hack and slash action.
All right. 8.
Success with a.
Yep. So you'll deal your damage, and the enemy is going to get to make an attack against you.
5 damage.
5. Okay, I'm just marking that down on my side here since I have to record that on paper. It's crazy. So let me finish a description for you as you approach. It is your stereotypical look of a mage. It's a female, looks elven, and she appears to have hair almost just like yours. It's like white hair, almost all pulled back. And in one hand, she's holding what looks like an icicle wand. and in the other hand, her other hand is up, and you can see like a little like snow flurries moving around the middle of her hand as she's holding it up. You get in, you make your attack, and she takes the hand that has like the snow flurries moving around in it, and she points it at the ground right next to you, and out of the snow comes what looks almost like a skeleton of a really large dog, but it has antlers, so maybe it's like a deer or something that you might find in the rain or something.
So since you gave me the description after I attacked, is it possible for me to attack that one instead of her?
The way I'm going to play it is the speed you were approaching at was it would be hard to pick your target before you got there.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome.
So I'm going to take it more like a blind attack as the first one, and then you kind of gathering the picture, I guess probably like as you're swinging your sword at her.
Okay.
But you did a substantial amount of damage. Remember, again, with the Dungeon World, the bad guys don't have many more hit points than you do. So with you guys having around 20 hit points to start, a bad guy is only going to have about that. And you don't have much more as you level up. You just get better at avoiding damage or dealing damage, etc. Done a substantial amount of damage. If we were playing 4th edition D&D, she'd be bloodied. Right.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
that kind of thing. You know that you hit. So where you hit, you definitely cut through skin, but instead of blood, you see what looks like icicles forming at the wound.
Freaky.
Ice witch, from what I hear.
I want to shoot it.
So what else are other folks doing? Now that everyone has seen that, everyone is now freed. Nobody is bound anymore or being held in place. You're still surrounded by the snow fiends. And there's this skeletal animal right next to Manfred now.
Okay. And hear me out.
All right. Done.
A second Molotov cocktail.
A second Molotov cocktail appears.
I'm standing right next to her.
I like it. I like it. What about
Eugene
two?
likes it.
A wild Molotov shot glass appears.
Why is it a shot glass?
Burn it up. Burn it up.
So, yeah, I mean, if you've still got adventuring gear, you've still got more. So go for it.
And fireballs to show.
Aiden slowly starts making one and just looks at Manfred.
Yeah.
Do it. I won't tell him.
Manfred staring directly.
Like, in the span of a couple of minutes, Aiden will have thrown 2 flaming things at Manfred. Why not?
I got it the first time.
It did. It worked very
I
well.
stabbed her once.
So if you're going to do that, where is it going to land? What's your goal? What's the purpose?
So it's probably a bad idea to try and throw it like at her.
I would definitely do it. It's not like you failed anything tonight.
I mean, can I make a move first? You know, there's not
Well,
really
that's
an
why.
issue.
That's why. Like, Aiden
Everyone
is
else
legitimately
gets to
making
make
one,
a
but
move.
Aiden is staring dead at you, just silently, like making it very clear.
Well, if that's the case, you can do that as an awareness thing, and we can find out what Eugene and Elias are up to.
Yes.
Let's
I
do
want
that.
Manfred to be aware that I am trying to do this again, since
All right.
he's already seen me do it once.
What you guys got? Eugene, Elias, you're both within 10 feet of what just happened, ish.
Are my feet free now, or are they just kind of in some
free
slightly
enough.
stiff snow?
Free enough. I mean, a lot of it will depend on what you roll. Like if you roll something that has a cost, you will probably trip because your feet weren't completely free.
Elias is itching for the Warhammer, but sees Aiden's plan, so releases another Molotov. Magic missile. Magic Molotov missile.
Nice. All right.
Magic
now, remember,
Molotov.
You do have a -1 to casting the spell now.
I do. I clicked on it, so I don't know if it's going to apply it. It's +1 minus. I don't know. It's a 6.
Yeah, no matter how we look at it, it's a 6. And if you had to minus 1, it'd be a 5.
Yeah.
So let's say that was not successful. So Magic Missile is going to leave your memory at this time.
Oh, it's gone for now. Okay, so my hand goes.
The Magic Missile doesn't quite get there. What's Eugene up to? He's muted.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Seeing that Manfred is now engaged in melee combat, somebody's about to commit a war crime, and the magic is failing. Eugene is going to Eugene's going to provide covering fire, making sure that the snow fiends and branches don't like sneak up on the active combatants. I want to support my allies and prevent interference.
That's an interesting one because we could call it defend, but it's not one thing you're defending. So let's.
Oh, you know what? I guess it could still be defend because defend can apply to locations,
and that's what I was just going to say. The area where the party is. Zone. Yeah. So in that case, what we'll do is when you're going to stand in defense of the location, in other words, you're going to just keep an eye on everything and just try and interfere if a bad thing is going to happen. So go ahead and roll plus Constitution or the defend roll.
Ouch. That's a failure 6. There is a complication.
Why?
I can't tell you how many failures I'm holding on to right now because it's a lot.
I did not mean to roll the second time.
All right. Here's where we are right now. We're ready for Aiden to throw the Molotov cocktail. We're ready for Manfred to say, don't throw it or something. Pretty much these two actions that we're going to talk about, whatever Aiden chooses and whatever Manfred chooses, are going to be pretty much simultaneous.
For what it's worth, I was intending to redirect attacks going their way, like shoot a snowball out of the sky or something, but like, mechanically, that was the choice I made, redirect attack.
No problem.
I'm about to get hit with a Molotov, aren't
I? Let's see.
Look around and find out, I guess.
Can I cast Bless on Aiden first?
You're not casting anything right now, Mr. Phil. No, we're at Aiden and Manfred have some simultaneous action about to happen. I just need to know what they are.
Would have been a 7. Okay.
Yeah, so I want to obviously kind of get out of the way, but as I'm moving out of the way, I want to take a swipe at that wand as I'm moving to sidestepping.
Okay. Aiden, are you ready to throw?
As ready as I can be.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have Aiden make the throw. And for you, Chris, for Manfred, we're going to have the volley go. If the volley is a success, you don't have to defy danger. If it is anything less than a success, you'll have to defy danger as you step out of the way and make your attack. So we're going to start with the roll from Aster. Go ahead with your volley and the Molotov cocktail at the Ice Witch.
All right, Chris, close your eyes.
We probably don't want to close your eyes. Oh my god!
Ooh,
that's a 4. Go ahead, Manfred. Defy some danger. What are you going to do about the Molotov cocktail that's coming at your head?
There was a warning.
There was a warning. It probably would have been better if you hadn't had a warning, right? I mean, just throw it. A better roll. Chris vanished. He's gone.
And I'm trying to think.
He burned up.
I kind of just want to throw the Ice Witch into it,
Defy danger. Take cover.
Let me tell you what I thought you were going to say. Is I thought you were going to do it with Constitution, let it hit you, and just grab onto the Ice Witch and.
Yeah, like let her burn with me, but I didn't want to do that. I kind of want to like push her into it.
That's smart.
So here's what I'm thinking: if you are going to try And so you're going to see that it's coming towards you. You're going to try and grab the ice witch and put her in front of it.
Yeah, basically I'm blocking.
To me, that's either going to be dexterity or intelligence. I'm thinking you're going to move fast or you're thinking fast, because this is split-second stuff. You've got the strength to do it as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not looking at strength for this one. This is something that...
Yeah, I guess it's quick thinking.
Yeah. So let's do it. Plus intelligence. Defy danger with intelligence.
Oh god.
Jesus.
I don't have any bonuses for minuses, but no bonuses.
5.
All right. You know what? We've been going a while. You guys are failing everything. Christmas is ruined.
we
mountain of snow just smashes all over.
Should have just taken the swipe at her, just attack anyway.
Oh, that's crazy.
We should have just not taken the job. We should have said nope. Weather's not having it.
As soon as the guide left, we're leaving too.
Right. That was our first clue.
All right.
The ice witch was the guide.
You don't get her as you reach for her. She does what you saw the snow fiend do earlier. She just kind of like vanishes down into the snow, and the Molotov cocktail hits the ground right where she was, just missing her completely. The flames get close to you, and I want you to take a D4 of damage as the flames are close enough to actually hurt you a little bit. But
what's the thing for here? Like /R, then 1d4.
Yeah. What did you?
/R 1d4, or the amount and then the dice size.
/R space 1d4.
Yeah.
Yeesh. That's what I thought it was, and I just didn't type it earlier, so I failed. I failed. Let's see what we got for that damage there. 2 damage.
Solid.
And Eugene, the ice witch pops up out of the snow right in front of you and points her icicle wand straight at your face.
Oh.
What do you do?
Bitch, back the fuck up. I'm gonna smack her.
Yeah, sorry.
I will. Yeah, I. This is all very sudden. This is all happening so fast. I didn't. Oh wow! So I'm just gonna whack at him with my bow,
like a reaction. Okay.
Yeah, it's what I have in hand.
That would be a hack and slash.
A hack and slash with my stick.
With your strength, you're going to hit her with a stick.
Yes.
A stick with a spring on it.
I also want to command Tyrion to attack her.
Sure.
Do a chomp.
Bite her.
Do a heckin' chomp.
Nice.
Well, that looks like success to me. That's an 11.
It is success.
Holy crap.
As an 11, so I get to deal my damage.
Yeah, you do.
And I can also choose to do extra damage, but I expose myself to them.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. So that's 1d8 plus
1d6.
1d6.
Yeah.
Plus 3.
Yeah, because you want to add in.
Yeah, I want Tyrion to come in and like a big old choo-choo train.
Choo-choo.
Wow. 7. Wow.
Damage. Okay. So
that's like a 2 2s or something like that.
I got a 3 on the D8 and a 1 on the D4.
As you swing the bow, part of it hits right in her head, and she's like immediately unconscious. The other part of the bow hits the wand, and it snaps the wand in the middle, and the energy released from the wand freezes the bow solid, and the next thing it touches causes the bow to shatter into 1,000 pieces. So unfortunately, your bow just got destroyed.
Ouch.
Ouch. And that's me using up one of your many failures.
Yay. Do I take damage from rapid onset frostbite?
No, you took no damage from that. She had started to freeze you, and it was interrupted. So,
and then as she's falling unconscious, Tyrion just kind of like rushes through.
So as she falls to the ground, all of the snow fiends that you saw kind of collapse down into the ground as well. The branches around Aiden on the toboggan stop being animated. They're unanimated, disanimated, anti-animated.
They're dead, Jim.
Animated.
They're not mated anymore. And things just kind of return to a normal. The blizzard slows down. The snow is barely falling. And as you're just noticing all the different things happening and the animated things kind of dying off, the shape of the ice witch just pretty much turns to snow and blends right into the ground.
Damn it, you bastard! Give me back my bow! Digging into the snow where the corpse fell.
I don't know if there's anything else is left of her.
Yeah, you guys just saved the humanitarian effort. You were able to chop enough wood to bring back for them to heat the workshop. And as the weather clears, of course, they can start to care for themselves as well. And
back the bearskin rug.
I don't want to make it sound too anticlimactic because you failed a lot before you finished. But that was the success of the adventure for the evening.
Yay!
Yay! You helped the non-elves get the non-presents ready for the non-holiday.
Beautiful. I love
Just because it never came up, I do want to at least tell you what I had named our ice mage. It is a mix. Her name is a mix of Santa and Claus, but it's Clonta. The beginning of Claus and the end of Santa. Yeah, Claunta.
Clonta.
Yeah, and what you will learn afterwards is that Clonta is a high-level person in the organization of the Cold that has been rumored in the lands recently. So that's your little teaser for when we actually get to the game.
Cool.
This is part of the Cold. Dun dun.
Wow, we did it, guys. Barely, but you know.
You did. You did. You made it through.
We did it. We successfully gathered firewood.
In my defense, I looked cool, and that's all that counts.
That you did.
I started out strong.
You acquired 27 firewood.
Yeah. Achievement unlocked. Got wood.
Yeah.
That's one of the first Minecraft ones, I think. When you first beat up a tree with your fist.
Yep.
All right, so we made a crafting table.
Yes, you guys are now able to craft with the gnomes and dwarves.
I'm not making anything.
I'm making a new bow.
Good. Yeah, you probably want one of those. So what I'll plan on this happening like in the past of when we actually start the regular Dungeon World game. So this will be something that we can use, that the characters have some information about each other when we start. So you've got a little playtime with the different characters, get a little bit of an idea of how the game system works. I think it'll give us a good start when we kick off the regular one.
Sounds
good?
Right on.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, folks, for a nice, fun night of Dale adventuring. You guys are my fail army. That's what it is. Nice. I'm pretty sure everybody got at least one fail in tonight. That, to me, that's impressive. That's like in D&D having everybody roll a natural one at least once through the night.
Yeah, I got 3.
It just doesn't happen that often, and you guys are rocking it. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this one up, and I'd like to wish all of you and all of our listeners a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, everything that goes along with it. This is our 7th year with Adventures from the Shed, going through a holiday season. It might be 8. I'd have to count again because I don't math good. But really happy to have you guys here. Fun game tonight, and we will definitely continue soon. Right, everybody?
Happy holidays and non-holidays, I guess.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to wrap this one up, and we can all say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Catch you next time.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.
Landy's working something up.
I just want to say for this holiday season, it's nice to be in your presence. Aww.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.